We're live, okay.
Thank you.
Go ahead, call you.
The cheek is, huh?
I think I'm getting one too.
Chris Conti.
Thank you all for coming for tonight. Zoning Board of Appeal meeting for the town of Wareham. Tonight it is September 25, 2024. It is 6:30 p.m. We are at the room for 520, the Multi-Service Center, 48 Marion Road, Wareham, Mass. I want to call the meeting to order and make a roll call. My far left, an associate member, Mr. Chris Conti, will be sitting throughout the night for Mrs. Debonese vote. She's out. Mr. Richard Semple, regular member. My far right, Mr. Troy Larson, regular member. Our clerk, Jim Akabachi, and myself, the chair, Nazi El-Khalasi, also present. Our town council, Mr. Richard Bowen, our building commissioner, Mr. Paul Turner, and Josh Flaherty, our town planner. I'm gonna go to meetings quick.
We have no meeting minutes to discuss.
Okay. I wanna, unfortunately, we have an executive session, so I have to throw everybody out for 10 minutes only, and we'll call you back in if you guys don't mind. Sorry. No hard, sorry, I don't know what to say, but it is what it is.
I'm here leading in.
All right,
Before we go-
council,
before we go-
why don't, Chris, why don't you give him, you mic?
We'll take one from the...
John's got you. John's got you, he's got you right here.
I was gonna get away.
All right, I'm gonna move to an executive session, MGL 38, Section 21, Reason 3, to discuss strategy with respect to potential litigation if an open meeting may have detrimental effect on the litigation position of the public body and the chair so declares. 36-24 Indian Neck Property LLC, variance / special permit, site plan review, 50 Indian Neck Road.
So you so declare?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
We don't need a second for that.
Roll call vote.
Huh?
Roll call vote.
All right. Let's
Everything.
make a roll call.
We don't need a roll call
Going to
vote.
executive session, roll call vote.
Okay,
Any motions made in executive session, roll call vote, including a motion to leave executive session.
Okay, very well. We make a roll call vote. Mr. Troy Larson?
Aye.
Just say present, right?
Present?
Our clerk, Mr. Jim Akabachi.
present.
Mr. Chris Conti.
Present.
Mr. Richard Semple.
Present.
Myself, Nazi El-Khalasi, chair, present. So called, so we shut the cameras off. Shut the mic. You gotta shut the camera off. No. We're gonna start with the continued public hearing. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a long night, so we're gonna be, your answers, please, as precise as possible, as efficient as possible. I don't want to hear how you pay taxes and how long you lived here. Let's get very, very efficient. Otherwise, we'll be here until 2 in the morning. That being said, 36-24 Indian Neck Property LLC, 50 Indian Neck Road. Public hearing still open. Name and address for the record. Councilor, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mark Bobrowski for the applicant. My office is in Concord, Massachusetts, in Damon Mill. Tonight, we'd like to give you an update on a couple of matters.
I'm going to interrupt for 1 minute.
Yeah.
Counsel, do we have to swear these people in every single time, or did we do it once? We're good.
You all been sworn in before?
They have. We're good. Thank you. Sorry to interrupt you, sir, but
No problem.
Good call.
I have not.
Are you a
you
councilor?
have not.
I
Okay.
have not.
Are you an attorney?
I am not.
All right, want to stand up, raise your right hand, please, Jimmy.
Yeah. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Have a seat, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
right.
We met a while ago with Town Administrator Derek Sullivan. Other officials were there. Mr. Sullivan prepared a list of concerns. We've responded now in writing, and I'm going to turn it over to Richard Kukuro, who will address Mr. Sullivan's concerns and our responses.
Mr. Chairman, this is a little lengthy, so this is going to take a few minutes.
I need your name and address.
Richard Kukuru, 200 Terhune Drive, Falmouth, Massachusetts.
You
All
didn't
right.
create the list, you're responding to it.
I helped create the list.
Okay.
All right, let's make the story short. Let's concentrate on the use variance. Maybe we could put this behind us tonight. We'll take your comment. It's not gonna get solved tonight, to be honest with you. I haven't looked at the site plan at all. I was busy with the thing. I wanna just call, who's here for or against this project? If you don't mind, let me get this done. For or against? Yes, come.
Come
No,
forward.
All right, come forward, state your name, quick, say for the project.
There's a microphone over here, just grab the microphone and we'll turn it around for you. And do like, you know, Perry Como or something, you know.
Patricia McGarry, East Wareham,
Address.
140 Park Avenue.
Okay, and you are in favor for this project?
Yes, I am.
All right, thank you. Who else in favor? All right, who else against? Yes, ma'am. Yes, Counselor, thank you.
Attorney Jillian Morton, 184 Main Street, here for the butters of Forest Way.
All right, you wanna sit down
Want me
and...
to answer? Okay.
Yes, please.
Right there.
And tell us, I know you present the neighbors, so let's hear it.
Sure. So I represent the abutters that are on Forest Way.
Yep.
So we have been in constant communication with their team, Council Borowski, as well as Mr. Frederickson, which you'll hear from tonight. And we are working on several different items. Most recently, we saw a security plan. I'm not, like right now, I can't really answer that because we got it today, but we have been talking through specific items about what we're concerned about. So as far as what do we agree, disagree, I feel like they've been supportive to all of our concerns. And one thing that we would certainly want to see is follow-up on the conditions within, if this is approved, that certain conditions are in the special permit.
Right,
So we
on the
feel-
conditions site plan, we're gonna take our time to look at it. It's
Right.
not gonna happen tonight. So you're saying your clients are okay with it? I would like to talk, grant or deny the variance tonight, so we know where we're heading.
As far as the use, yes, because we have gone through specifics of how they're mitigating different concerns that we've had.
We could,
So-
put a lot of conditions on the site plan.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Anything else you want to add?
No, I think that if they present, that I've been discussing with, again,
Okay.
both the attorneys, and as far as what we're getting from them, I know it's cooperation, so I appreciate that and
All right.
hearing us.
Very well.
Okay?
Anyone else in this room for this matter? Board member, Chris? Richard?
No,
No,
nothing
no,
at this
no.
time.
No comment.
All right. I think we should take a vote on the variance, put it behind. Right? Do you agree? Does everybody agrees? So we know where we're going. This way we can concentrate on the site plan.
So I make a motion that we,
Let's close this variance, public side of the variance. Let's close the public hearing for the variance.
so I make a motion that we stop hearing any testimony
On the
regarding
variance.
the variance for a use, the use variance only portion of this. We'll still hear from the public on other matters when we do
Site
site plan
plan.
review, et cetera, but anything to do with the variance is now closed.
All right. Any discussion on closing public hearing for the variance? I hear none. Do I have a second?
Second.
So we have a motion by Jim, second by Troy. All in favor, say aye. Mr. Troy Larson.
Aye.
Jim Akabachi.
Aye.
Christopher Conte.
Aye.
Richard Semple.
Aye.
And myself, the chair, Nazi El-Khalasi, aye. So it's 5-0-0. We close for the variance, just the
So in follow-up
parts
to
of
that,
the variance. Go ahead.
in follow-up to that, I make a motion to approve the variance for the use.
Okay, we have a motion by our clerk, Mr. Jim Akabachi, to grant the use variance for 50 Indian Neck Road for Indian Neck Property LLC. On the use variance, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Troy Larson. All in favor, say aye. Troy Larson.
Aye.
James Akabachi.
Aye.
Chris Conti.
Aye.
Richard Sample.
Aye.
And myself, Nazi Al-Khalasi. I abstain. So you got 4-0-1.
Thank you.
So that carries.
Who's the one? You
I
abstain?
Yeah, so 4-0-1. So you get the use variance. Like I said, I'm sorry, we have a long night. I hate to send you home, but if you download everything, we'll go over it. We'll look at it, we'll have a town council, and hopefully next time we put it to bed. I know you're new, so you probably want to say something. Why don't, let's hear from you.
Okay. Well, first of all, I had a PowerPoint, but I'm going to make it quick because I know you want to get out of here.
We
My
pressed
name
for
is
time.
Frank Frederickson, retired police chief from Yarmouth, Massachusetts. I now run Lynn Frederickson Strategies. They brought me in here about 3.5 weeks ago to take a look at the security plan, deal with neighbors, and quite frankly, I spent a career working with community relations. And I reviewed what they've already done, which was really remarkable, and gave us some insight into some other things. And we're prepared to show you everything, but you're going to get it in writing.
Right.
And I'll give you all the documents. I printed everything I did right here, and you're going to get it all tonight. So I'm willing to take any questions after this, but the biggest thing I want to tell you is my credibility is important. So I expect that Gosnell is going to follow through with everything they say they're going to do.
Thank you, Chief. Question for? None. Any questions, guys?
One quick question.
Yeah.
Do you feel as though these people are going to run a secure and safe operation?
Yes, actually, what you're going to see in the plan, they're putting in security measures that do not exist in Falmouth, which are pretty good.
Thank you.
Richard, you have a question?
Not at this time.
Christopher? Any questions? So we're gonna continue until October.
Did you want to hear from Gosnell? He had a whole...
No, we'll,
I can submit it, we can submit it.
yeah, submit it.
It's been submitted to
Sorry.
Sonia.
It's already been submitted, correct.
To be honest, we're 1, 2, 3, 4,
So you want to continue?
9, 10, 11. We have 12 hearings.
Oh.
So add them up.
And we're going to continue so that they have time for a
Continue
site-
to the October 9. That good?
No, I've got another meeting that night.
So what do you want, 23rd? We could continue with them and go to the conditions.
Mr. Chairman,
I'll make
the
it.
23rd will be fine.
23rd is fine.
But let me ask you a couple of questions
Yes.
before we get out of here, and I don't want to stick around in your hair. First, do you need a continuance? Because I think we gave you one last time till the end of October.
We do.
Okay, so I don't see my friend here, as usual, Sonia. So-
She's away vacation.
Oh, good for her.
So why don't you give us a continuous until November 7?
All right, and
So
then-
just so I do and email her.
This is an offer that I make just simply to facilitate things. Having done a number of these decisions before, it's already on my computer to some extent. Would it be okay if I worked with counsel to prepare a draft decision for discussion purposes only that hits the high spots because it's a complicated case?
Yeah.
I think it would be helpful.
Thank you, will do.
That was my next question, if you could draft decision. That's very good, and you'll agree to give us an extension till October 10,
November.
10th.
November 7.
I will communicate that. When is Sonia coming back? Next week?
I don't know. Just say yes and send it
Should
on.
be back before the next meeting.
Yes, you agree till November 7.
On TV.
So is that when they're coming back November 7th?
No, they're coming back on 23rd. They give us decision deadline until November
For the special permit? Yeah, okay.
for the site plan review.
November 7th is the date by which we have to make a decision.
Yes.
I'm going to write it in the way that November 7th is the day you have to file it with the town clerk. Does that work for you?
No, just a deadline decision extension. Just,
Well, you just made.
We might make a decision on the site plan
But you
review.
have to do that, too.
right.
Yeah, we have to, so
Exactly.
we need time for that. That's my concern.
Okay.
Give you enough time.
Well, I like to put in the extension that you have an extension to make the decision until X, but then you're going to need some time to file.
Probably going to need more.
Maybe the next day, but I've seen boards make the mistake of saying it's due that night and the office is closed.
Exactly.
So let me give you a few days extra for the filing.
Thank you.
So what do you want to give, November 21st?
That's fine. I'm starting to cook that day anyway.
All right, November 21st. Let's get a motion to continue till the 23rd of October.
So moved.
So we have a motion by Mr. Akabachi to continue this matter until October 23rd. Do I have a second? Do I have a second? Second by Troy. All in favor, say aye. Troy Larson.
Aye.
Jim Akabachi.
Aye.
Chris Conti.
Aye.
Richard Temple.
Aye.
And myself, aye. We'll see you on the 23rd. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Look at it.
All right, we have 5-24 Wali Daya for 2544 Cranberry Highway. Thank you, Chief, for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Is Mr. Madden here for that matter?
Is.
All right.
Yep.
Should we put it in the file?
All right, public hearing is still open.
Just gave it to us tonight. Put it in the file?
Yeah, that's the chief's,
Leave me one, you can take one, put it on the file.
One for you,
Yeah.
rest it for the file.
You want one?
I'll take one.
Yeah, here you go.
You want one, Dr. Rich?
It's not online, so I'll...
No, but rip the chief's business card off, and if he gets stopped, you can, tell him.
He's retired,
Best
so.
friend.
All right, name and address for the record,
Attorney Jillian Morton, 184 Main Street.
sir.
Brendan Goldman, 192 Forest Street, Wareham.
Mr. Madden, your name for the record?
I only have one microphone.
I'm Bill Madden on behalf of the applicant, GAF Engineering.
All right, very well. It's still open, it's yours.
Sure. So last we left you, we had submitted our responses to the peer review, and most recently today, I think it was around 5, I got the peer review back, the second peer review. So what we were thinking would be to get your feedback, and perhaps if Mr. Cordero could speak to it, but I know our engineers haven't had a chance to review his review. So maybe he could go through the highlights, or
Yes.
feedback from you all.
Mr. Cordero, you want to come forward? Phil, thank you. All right, name and address, Phil.
For the record, Phil Cordero from Allen and Major Associates with an address of 10 Main Street in Lakeville. Attorney Morton is correct. We did receive the peer review information back from GAF Engineering a couple of weeks ago. We conducted the follow-up review. We did issue our letter today with the intent that we would simply discuss it here with the board this evening. We have a handful of remaining comments that remain outstanding on the site plan reviews that we think you would benefit from having addressed as part of the review of the application. Just going through them very quickly, the plans don't have certain stamps on them, endorsement stamps, landscape architect, professional land surveyor, sort of administrative matters. We raised some issues with the Title V system as being adequate. I know Title V falls under the Board of Health, but we want to understand whether or not the site can support, the systems on site can support what they're actually proposing for the development.
Isn't that sewer over there, Force Main? I think it's a Force Main sewer.
Is this the old Nissans, what,
The old Napa.
the old what?
Napa.
it's
Napa.
Mark's.
Oh, okay.
Mark,
Okay.
I still call it Napa.
Next to the
No,
water
it's Title
department.
V.
100 years ago.
Hey, they got a,
And It's Title V. It's Title V, and it's been inspected, and everything was good.
All right, so you wanna, why don't we leave this to the Board of Health?
I'm just noting it for the board. It
Yes.
is a Board of Health, definitely a Board of Health matter. We had raised a few issues during the site plan review, that the site has some debris on it, a large amount of pavement is in disrepair, curbing is in disrepair. There's no notes that address any of that in any of the response materials, so those continue to be outstanding concerns for us. The plans were revised to include a dumpster location at the rear of the site. There's some plan inconsistencies in terms of where the dumpster is, how they're going to access it, how it would be maintained. Additional notes where they have timber curbing and retaining walls on site. The plans note that the contractor will remove and repair, but we always advise for you to have the applicants be very specific in terms of what they're going to do, so we all have the same expectation during site plan review. So those are just...
Quick, how high is the timber curbing? Like 6 inch?
Yes,
All right.
yes.
What else we have? How about drainage?
So they have provided a new drainage system on site, so we're grateful for the change there. But the materials don't provide the calculations, so we can't confirm that what they're providing would meet standards.
How
So we're
about
asking for that additional.
Number of parking.
So we do have, we need them to clarify, let me just scan through the notes. We do need them to clarify the parking spaces. They have made revisions, but the plans don't have a floor plan, so our ability to confirm the square footage of office to the square footage of storage to compute the parking spaces, the application lacks that, so we can't confirm whether they're compliant or not for you.
So we need to know the square footage, how much, and because office space, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I think, if I might interject a thought, I think that we were asked to prepare a floor plan. We did prepare a floor plan of the building, the existing conditions within it. I want to say that we had forwarded that to building commissioner previously. I can provide it to this board
Yeah,
as
we do
well.
have it.
We actually-
One at a time, one at a time.
One of the meetings that we had here, and you guys actually recommended making some changes to it.
Right, because there was a lot of offices.
Right.
So you agree with the commissioner to make them storage, right?
Yes.
Instead of office.
In the plan was revised, the notation of the plan was revised to call those areas storage areas as opposed to office for the need to clarify the parking.
All right, on the stamps, I'm sure you could put the stamps on it. Landscape and architect, I know you like to do your plans the last thing. Get a landscaping. The border house, we're not gonna worry about curbing. And dumpster, I recommend, now board member, if you wanna add something, you could just jump in so we can get this quick. I recommend the curbing to be redone, the pavement to be totally repaved, just like we did the dealership down East Wareham. A dumpster pad has to be present. A timber must be replaced with curbing, and parking spaces has to be addressed properly.
When you say replace with curbing, you want to go from wood to concrete or?
Yeah, because it's gonna be the same problem. If it's 6 inches, might as well concrete or granite.
Yeah, we recommended the same, Mr. Chair, because they want to do new sidewalk adjacent to that timber curbing, so the interface of those two dissimilar materials would be better to replace.
Landscaping plan, did you look at it?
We did look at it, they provided it, there are landscaping details, it's adequate.
I start with board member. What do you have for question?
None.
Jimmy?
None.
I'm good.
Chris? Richard?
None.
Anyone in the public for this project? Anyone against this project?
Vote online, John.
Nothing? Okay. Commissioner, what do you got? Any questions?
I'd like to see the parking calculations.
The calculation of the parking, right. Now, let's talk a little bit, Councilor, about the dealership. Now, adding dealership and a garage, that's what you're gonna have problem with parking, I think.
Okay.
You know, how many cars can you park inside to work on?
We have 3 lifts and an inspection bay, so that there could be up to 4 cars at a time that are being worked on. I mean, theoretically, we can fit more, but that's what we actually
Okay.
use. And as far as the outside parking, I mean, we can, as far as the dealership thing goes, I mean, I think we applied for an 8-car license. I mean, if we have to cut that back to 5 or something, we're willing to make that work, you know?
How many parking spaces you have?
We have a total number of parking spaces, 28 on the site. And just to address a couple of things, we submitted plans back on September 10th that addressed all the comments that Mr. Kader has brought up thus
Okay.
far. So all the things that we talked about.
September what?
10th.
All right. Well, it's, all right,
But in any event, sorry to interrupt.
that's okay. So you have 28 parking spaces?
We have 28 parking spaces shown. We showed 9 for vehicle display, and then we show, what do we got? 15, I believe, for motor vehicle, for the motor vehicle.
Repair?
We're required to have 21 spaces, and we have 28.
28, but you have the dealership on top of it.
Those are included as well in the spaces in the parking table.
Chris, what do you think on the parking? Or on the dealership? Are you okay with dealer and?
Yeah, how many cars do you say you're?
For the dealership.
9 for the dealership? And how many for the bays?
For the bays, there's 3 bays with 2 lifts and 1 inspection bays, 15, 5 per space, 5 per bay. We have 15 parking spaces for the bays.
I'm okay.
And then we have 8 parking spaces for the 1,300 square feet of office.
Okay. Thank you. I'm good.
Rich?
I'm good.
Why don't we have, for until next time, we'll have the commissioner look at the parking and look at the storage or whatever you call it, the space. What are you gonna do with all that space? Are you gonna have offices there eventually? What are you gonna do with it? Just empty?
No, I mean, half the space that's being called office spaces will probably, that's still being called office space, it will probably end up being a sales office.
Sales,
If we get the-
parts,
yeah, and that's-
storage?
I mean, we don't, we store a lot of parts, we store a lot of tools,
Right.
you know, and equipment and things like that. And you got the AC, I mean, you'd be surprised how, well, I know, you know, some people, I don't know what everyone's background is, but some of the equipment's bigger than you would think.
Right.
So it takes up a lot of room.
Troy?
No comment.
Jimmy?
I'm all set.
All right, why don't we continue and address all these issues, finalize it with Phil, so next time we come clean, and so maybe we could put it behind us. How's that? That make sense?
Trying to make nice on the parking.
I still want to hear from the commissioner, let him look at it.
I mean,
I know you you download it for at the town hall, but Sonia's been out, we don't even have anything online in every hearing, so we're just gonna make whatever, as close as we can for judgment, but not on this one. Is that
We're
right?
just anxious to, as you know, to move things forward, and whatever we can do to facilitate your decision-making, we're happy to do that.
Well, I don't know, unless,
I have a question.
go ahead.
Did I hear that you're providing more parking spaces than our current bylaws require?
Yes.
By a less than 10, but more than 5?
9, I believe.
9.
7, rather.
7 more than the bylaw requires.
Yes.
And we're looking for the commissioner to agree with or confirm that? Is that what we're looking for? Naz,
Yeah.
is that what you're looking for? You want to confirm the,
I believe there's 4 bays. You said there's 3.
There's 3 bays, one's a sticker bay, so they don't, I mean, those people are in and out.
But
They're not really
I just want to make that clear to the board. So there's 4 bays in that building. So that's 4 times 5 is 20. They're looking for parking for, you got at least 8 for the Class 2. And then I have no idea what we ended up with as a floor plan. You have to multiply out 1 spot for, per 1,000 feet for the storage, and then you got 250 for the office space. So we could do the calculation right now, but I believe it's more.
It's right on the plan.
So,
All I'm saying, Mr. Madden, is I don't have it in front of me.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question. And now you're not in business, and that place jammed, so what's up with that?
but as I explained to you before, a lot of them are still stuck with no motors or blown motors that we've been waiting to do. And we are still bringing customers in and bringing them to our shop in Sandwich to try and get somewhere. I mean, I got to pay the bills. So I'm not making any money, but I got to pay, at least keep the building so it doesn't get taken from us. I mean, it's been almost a year now. That's just why we're kind of eager to go, you know what I mean? But, I understand the debate over the bays. I honestly, the idea of calling a sticker bay a bay is kind of, there's not 5 people waiting for stickers at a time. I think we can all agree on that.
Right.
So,
I can't.
okay.
I go to Coastal Motors in Buzzards Bay and put my name on a list, and there could be 7 or 8 people
Well,
in
you
front
can
of
come
me.
down and see us, and we'll get you done in 10 minutes. But, I mean, it's just, there's, and, all right, I will correct myself. 90% of the shops don't have 5 people waiting for a sticker at a time. And if it does, it's very rare. You know,
I get you.
you know, I mean, so to require 5 spots for that is kind of overkill.
I'm wondering, is it possible for us to take a vote subject to the commissioner agreeing what the engineer is telling us to be
No,
a
and
fact.
then it goes out of hand. I don't know about the board member. Every time we do this, it just
It bites us?
bites us.
Okay.
Unless the board member likes to do that. but-
He's trying to make a comment.
Oh, I'm sorry, Bill.
I just, on the 4 bays versus the lifts and what have you, I mean, you just recently changed the bylaw. We went from 3 spaces per lifter bay to 5. Pretty substantial change. You know, I believe the bylaw says bays or lifts. It doesn't say and combined. I mean, I think calling that 4 bays is a little aggressive on the count for that. I mean, is it an inspection bay or is it a service bay? I think it's an inspection bay. You know, do they have to do any service in there? I don't know. Is inspection, if you're conducting inspections, you can't be conducting service. You can only be conducting one task at a time, the way that long bay is configured.
I do agree. I have a couple of inspection stations myself. That the most you have 2-3 people in line, the most. And you're a billionaire if you have 5, 6. But 2, 3, I do agree. Most people come back. Some people leave it and go, but most people come back. And it's only beginning and the end of the month. This I do agree with. On the repairs, I agree by bay, per bay. However, he testified that they working on 3 cars, so that's three bays. If he says we working on 1 car and the rest is storage, but he says we're going to be working on 3 cars, so that's 3 times 5, 15. And to be fair, let's say 2 for the sticker, 17. But let the commissioner go through it. You solve your differences with Mr. Cordero, and we go from there next time.
Sure, yeah, I mean, I think the sum total of it is that we have adequate parking on the space regardless of the decision.
Well, you gotta get all your,
use.
you gotta change your curbing to, and show that the pavement gonna be done, the dumpster, you gotta stamp your landscaping.
All that's on the plan. The dumpster is on the plan, the landscaping is there, you know, we were not going to be using concrete curb or granite curb on the job. We were going to be using, I think we showed railroad tie on it, and I think that's consistent with what the bylaw allows.
The bylaw allows Cape railroad ties?
Timber, it doesn't specify that they can't be used.
Oh, okay, but it does allow that?
It would seem, but to your point, Mr. Chair, there are areas of the curbing that need to be repaired out there,
To
Yeah.
be fair,
if you're going to allow the timber curbing.
I may point out that I started to explain to you guys last hearing, that's actually already been completed.
Actually what?
It's already been completed.
You did it with timber.
We did it with timber.
Anyway, we have a inspection process throughout the site
Well,
plan.
I understand, I'm
At
just-
the end, you're gonna have to come back with us. If he says that it's not done, you won't get your occupancy. Why you won't get it okay from us to go get occupancy from the commissioner. That being said, let's go to, where are we here? What date we in now? 25th.
October.
Let's go to the 9th. Okay, can I get a motion continue to the 9th?
So moved.
I have a second, motion by Jim, do I have a second?
A second.
Second by Chris, all in favor say aye. Troy?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Chris Conti, aye.
Richard?
Aye.
Myself, the chair, aye. I know you pressed for time, Mr. Madden, and you want to get going, but you let somebody drop the ball for 8 months. So that's not, don't put it on us now. I understand.
I would disagree with that, sir.
No, you can't say you disagree. You guys never came back with plans. We continue many times. We almost denied you because you didn't come back.
But to be fair,
We're not gonna argue, sir.
Mr. Chairman,
Ma'am.
would it be appropriate?
Counselor, sorry.
That's all right. To draft a decision, a sample decision for you to take a look at?
For next time?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
All right.
Sure.
Draft a decision, make sure we sort all our problems out.
Yeah,
We'll go
revised
from there.
plan. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you then. So that's,
The next thing on the list has, was entered erroneously. I just want to, into the record, say that if anybody was looking at the agenda and thought they were coming here to address 3424 Faz Realty Corp., that decision has been previously rendered, doesn't need to be heard again this evening.
anyone here for 3037 Cranberry Highway, Cape Cod Gas? All right, that's behind us. Thank you. We go to 22-24, 5-star golf carts. Anyone here from 5-star?
I'd like to make a comment on that.
Go ahead.
On 5-star golf cart, I think we need to reach out. I happened, in the course of my business, I happened to be talking to somebody that's affiliated with 5-star, and that person was of the opinion that the town had denied the use, or had denied their application. So I think it might be good to reach out and see if these people have...
I heard they were having a hard time with the title. That's what I heard. There's something wrong with the title.
Okay. So maybe the title is what discouraged them.
Right. I think they've been discouraged, right? That's what I heard. Should we give them
What's the title, Mr. Chair?
title as a pro?
There is
So-
you're aware that there's an ongoing title issue?
I spoke to the attorney on the application. This goes back probably a month ago, that they were chasing down title issues. They were also having a hard time getting the engineer to actually update the plans, that they were seeking other engineers who could do it in a more timely fashion. That's about a month ago, though.
But so to your knowledge, they haven't gone away, they just have no reason to be here?
To my knowledge, yes.
And they don't know, they may not even know they're supposed to be here.
It's possible.
What do you guys want to do? Give them another hearing?
I hate to deny them just on the,
Exactly. I'd hate to deny him just because of that.
All right, let's continue till, let's continue to the 9. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I have a motion by Jim to continue this matter until the 9, which is 22-24, 5-star golf car. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Richard. All in favor, say aye. Troy?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Richard?
Aye.
Chrissy?
Aye.
Nazir, myself, Chair, aye. Continued. We move forward to 32-24, V&B Property, 3138 Cranberry Highway. Phil, you want to come forward too, man, as well? All right, name and address for the record, public hearing still open.
David Barry, 48 Highland Circle, Halifax.
Upside.
Dave Newhall, Crocker Design Group, 2 Sharp Street, Hingham, Mass.
Thank you. Phil, just your name for the record.
See this.
Oh, I'm sorry. Phil Cordero, Allen and Major Associates.
Here, take that.
Very well.
This look like they're all new. New.
All right,
Want one for you?
public hearing still open. Before we go forward, I know you moved the bar to the other side, which is, I think it's a great idea. Doesn't disturb nobody. Before we waste this gentleman's time about the bar on the other side, let's ask, we're not gonna vote yes for it, but let's get the opinion before we go on the site plan and details. What do you think in moving the bar, Chris?
I like the idea that they moved the bar. I saw they had 3 different choices. I think you told me last time you were going to just cover the bar.
Correct.
And not the whole thing. I would have rather seen the whole thing covered.
It'll be,
All right, Richard, what do you think?
I'm good with it.
Troy?
I'm good with it.
Jimmy?
I'm fine.
All right, I'm also good moving with the bar so we can concentrate on the site plan. Before we go forward, quick, is anyone here against the bar idea in the parking lot, on the other side of the building? Against it? Anyone in favor? Good, so let's go with the site plan. Let's see what we got, how far you guys got.
Do you want, who do you want
Oh, well,
to start?
actually, Phil,
Okay.
where do we have something?
Sure.
How do you guys make out?
So we've been working with the applicant. We held a site walk with the applicant and the engineer several weeks ago where they walked us through the idea of what they were doing. They've revised the site plan. They've reviewed, at our request, the drainage, circulation around the parking lot. They've provided some supplemental plans. They've agreed to some replacement of some of the pavement on site in the worst areas. The parking lot is generally in really good shape, so that the deficient areas they're going to replace. We did talk quite a little bit about landscaping. They've agreed to do landscaping along the front of the site and the sidelines. I'll just remind the board, though, that their property line is shared with Mass DOT, so they do need to seek a Mass DOT permit to do the landscaping that they've suggested. So if you render a decision, it may need to be contingent on the Mass DOT permit for you. And then the largest one is really working through what the outdoor patio was going to be. Clearly, they've moved it to a deck scenario. They provided in the last package a few alternatives. The applicant and the engineer didn't specify which one they were going for. We would ask through you for them to confirm the preference or your preference for them, because we need to ensure that they have adequate parking in compliance with the zoning. And until we know which option they're going to, we can't say that for certain.
Well, when the plans with the seating, the commission will determine the parking.
Correct.
That's correct. And they came up with a number of scenarios, but because they present the parking to you as a zoning table on the plans, we're just looking to make that complete and correct and make the building inspector's job easier.
Do you have a 2x3 plans on that? I can't read a word.
I don't know if I do or not. How big?
You want site plans, or you want?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, much better, thank you. Let me ask you a question. On the curbing, by the highway, you do want granite, right?
So the
State would require
the DOT
granite.
requires granite, yes. One change that they made to the plans, Mr. Chair, members of the board, is they have an existing curb cut on the street that they are not proposing to close any longer. They were seeking to close it under the original plans. They're not closing it now. They want to retain their rights to
The
the state
existing
highway.
one.
The existing one.
Right, but we don't want it to close it. And you get the one on Cherokee Drive, right?
So there would actually be two along Cranberry Highway. One would be the main entrance. The other is where they have parking spaces today. They're going to close it off with mulch planters, but not formally construct with the granite curbing that you're thinking they would do.
Yeah, but if we're gonna make it, I saw that. If you're gonna make it subject to the, if we're gonna make a decision subject to the state's gonna come back with granite curbing. With the curbing coming inside, they're gonna come back with that. That's what they're gonna require.
We're not requesting with the state in the permit process to close that with them. We're keeping the rights to have that still be open as it always has been, but to informally with the state close it off with the planted barriers to not make it an open access, but in the event that, plans change in the future, that he doesn't lose his rights of having an access with the state right-of-way in that location, just with the ability, once we give up that opening, going and getting permission from the state to have it again might be more challenging with him closing off that opening.
Yeah, but that opening is, first of all, it's unsafe. Pulling out or pulling in, and it's useless. You have 1, 2, 3 openings. Why would you need a fourth one? I mean, it doesn't make sense.
And that's why we're proposing to close it with the planted barriers in an informal way and not formally with Mass DOT in the event that this property changes hands in the future and they have different plans for how it gets used.
But the thing is with the highway, my opinion, you need curbing. You can't just have the way it is. All what it is right now, I go there a lot. You could just drive over the grass and go on the highway. It's very kind of dangerous. There's no boundaries. So that's one of the reasons the state makes you do granite curbing. If somebody loses a little control on the highway driving, at least the curbing wake him up or move him. And the way you are now is nothing, and somebody could just, by mistake, accidents do happen, but at least the curbing would alert them a bit.
Yeah, and that was the purpose behind proposing the planted barriers there, that they wouldn't be able...
All along the front.
And along the front, we also do have a post and rail fence along with plantings that we're proposing between the edge of pavement of the parking area on site and the existing pavement within Cranberry Highway. So there is a barrier between the two, not curbing, but a post and rail fence.
Let me pass it by the board. Troy, what do you think on that?
I agree with you on the curbing.
Jimmy?
I'll be as blunt as I was with the outdoor parking on the other end. You're just gonna create a few more meetings and lose anyway. You need a curbing.
Okay.
Chris?
I like the curbing.
Richard?
No comment.
Uh-huh.
Could I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
When I bought that location, there was a lot of disrepair on the edge where the parking meets to where the grass area is. There was railroad ties that were there that were pretty much dilapidated. Is it possible to present those back in the plans, to put them at the edge of where the parking is, where you have a two-step timber parking, and then you have all your landscaping? So you're preventing anybody from obviously driving out, because you wouldn't be able to, because you'd have the timbers that were existing there prior to. I had removed them because they were in disarray and broken everywhere. If I put it back that way, would that be?
What you're hearing from the board is either you're gonna have that entrance or you're not. If we're gonna approve that entrance, there's not gonna be any plantings there. If you wanna close the entrance, then we want a curb.
Yeah, no, I was referencing on
If it's
the,
gonna be a curb, then it's gonna be you're gonna draw it that you're using it.
no, I was
Using it, we're not gonna approve it.
yeah.
I'm just trying to,
No, I was referencing
Back to the chairs.
the parking areas. In the main parking that you were referencing on the other side, all around.
over
Like
on
the whole
Cherokee-
thing,
on-
you
on
need
Cherokee
curbing.
Drive,
Between Cherokee, then the initial part of the parking area, not the front entryway of the building.
So from Cherokee down to the first
Correct.
opening,
Yep.
That the state,
you're gonna need it.
You're gonna need it. You're gonna need it, and you're gonna make the curb properly, and the entrance, the radiuses properly. The town have a standards that the state agrees with, like coming in would be like a 50-degree, leaving with a 30-degree radius. There's rules and regs, and, I mean, we put back timber. All right, when are we gonna fix it? There was things done that triggered site plan, and we have to stick by it, unfortunately, and that's is how we improving things. I mean, there's this location, we're making them repave the whole thing, landscaping from scratch. Same gentleman before you, there was a garage there, and there was no site plan done, so we're making them do all this again. And it's only gonna be safer for your business, and better, I think it would be better business. But to have nothing on Cherokee Drive and on the highway, like no edging or something, rain, safety, driving, everything, it doesn't, it's not appealing, it doesn't work. And the board going out of their way to give you, it seems they showed intention to give you variance for the bar outside, so you gotta work with them. And the curbing on Cherokee Drive, you have to address that one, but I don't know what the town probably allows, Phil, did they allow Cape Cod berm?
On the town layout, you could do Cape Cod.
Right, so you gotta hold that landscaping end, but you'll do a Cape Cod berm on Cherokee Drive, which is a lot cheaper than granite. So that's where we are, that's gonna be curbing all the way, and according to the standards of the town, the front. Landscaping plan, what do you say, Phil?
They provided a landscaping plan around the whole site.
You're happy with it? Okay.
It's very adequate.
Drainage, they test it, we have good report?
We looked into the drainage with them, or the applicant did, we went over it. The drainage that's on site is good for the site.
The layout of the handicap spaces, the cars don't stick on that driveway? You still have the 13 feet?
They have the 13 feet clear, which the town allows under the bylaw.
Okay. Go back to the board. Richard?
Nothing at this time.
Chris?
I'm good. I would like to know which option on the deck.
Yeah, we just got the conditions from Phil's office today. We called to get them, but we had everything proposed in reference to it, but it was the, do you know which one it was offhand?
The one with the 89 seats.
It's had the 89 seats on it. The total occupancy that's that's verified right now, total right now in, on the license is 383. It's 200 and...
So inside is 289 seats, and then that proposed deck would be 89 seats for 378 total seats, and his current capacity with the building code with fire is 383. So that would be less than the number we showed on our parking table, So it would be 76 instead of 77 required spaces, and we have 83 striped parking spaces on site to be over the parking requirement.
All right. You still want to go through it, right?
Sure.
All right. Troy, any questions before we let him go?
Nope, none at this time.
Now, does the bar require a variance, Phil?
I do not believe so. Not under site plan review, no.
Commissioner,
So I think the commissioner.
What was the question?
does the bar require a
outside seating.
variance? It
I don't
does.
believe so.
It meets setback and everything. It doesn't need it. Okay. Well, apparently the license you have to get from the selectmen.
Right.
All right. So, board, are you guys good? We send them away.
I'm good.
Chris? All right, let's work on this curb, and I would recommend you do it to go forward, and hopefully next time we'll grant you the permit and you go on your way. All right?
Going to continue to October 9?
Thank you for the plan.
Is that what you're looking
Yes,
for, 9?
October 9 is good for you?
It's a motion.
Sir, engineer? October 9?
Yes.
Okay, can we get a motion to continue for October?
So moved.
So we have a motion to continue VMB property 5-20, 32-24 till October 9. Do I have a second?
Are we good on,
Second.
are we
Okay.
good on our time for a decision on this one? Are we running out of?
Chris usually good with that. Chris, did you look at that? On time? Deadline
Time
decision?
for the board to make a decision? Are we good if we extend till the 9th?
Where is it?
What did I send? So, yeah.
Do we have at least,
Yeah, the special permit says 10/8, and variance was extended to 10/24.
Okay, then we need we need an extension on the special permit
we need some,
and the
we need
site
some
plan
more
review.
time.
So we need a letter from you. You could.
An email like before?
Yeah, you
Okay.
give us an extension until, let's call, say, November 7th. All right, do you agree to this? Just say yes.
Yes.
Okay, and you'll send one to Sonia online for a deadline extension till November 7, 2024.
Yes.
All right, very well. That being said, you made the motion, right?
The motion's been made, we're waiting for a second.
I seconded.
Second by Troy, all in favor, say aye. Troy?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Richard?
Aye.
Chrissy?
Aye.
And myself, Nazir, aye. So we see you on 9. 41 thank you. 41-24, 9 Maple Ave. 9 Maple Ave is here. What happened? Okay. Oh, sorry. Because my brother-in-law's name Christopher, I call him Chrissy. Sorry. Okay, Christopher. Sorry, I'm very sorry about that. Sorry, Christopher. Chris is good?
Chris is good.
Sorry, Chris Roy, if he's watching, that's because of you.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Right. You are,
Hang on, just let me get this,
you're on 9 Maple Ave. Okay.
let me just get this out of my way so that I think 9 Maple Ave is an ongoing, right? Yeah, you can,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Just your name and address for the record.
Harrison Levitsky, 9 Maple Ave, onset.
All right, the public hearing's still open. Where did we leave it last time? I forget.
We presented the safety and logistics plan. Our engineer is also on the Zoom. And then we, I think, allowed time for the board to view the site and just look at what we're trying to accomplish, which is just to satisfy the permit and raise the house to the base floodline elevation, which was the correction noted in the violation we received.
All right. Richard, I know you go by these places. Did you go look?
What's that?
The 9 Maple Ave.
I went by a while ago. I haven't gone by the
Yeah.
last week or so.
All right. What do you think of the project now? The way what they're proposing. So they agree to raise it?
Correct.
All right. So you're gonna raise it according to FEMA regulation?
I think the delay was because of the spelling R-A-Z-E versus R-A-I-S-E. think that's,
the one?
That was the first one, we got that corrected.
We've got that,
Everything's been noted
okay.
Correct, yes.
so we've advertised that, and now we were just looking over your logistics.
I think we covered that last meeting, but also happy to answer any questions this meeting as well.
Did you had a logistic plan and showed the
I
commissioner?
submitted that and it's
It was
posted on the
submitted-
portal. Yeah.
So what was left unresolved? Why are you back?
I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure.
There's somebody in the back waving at me. They either think I'm...
Yeah,
You ready for public comment?
sure.
Thank you.
Come on up.
Yeah, before you start,
So I remember there was an issue with the deck, I think, in the back. I did tour there today. I did go look at it. Looks like that deck does go way out to the retaining wall there along the shore. And then it kind of comes in a little bit, just a couple feet over. And so I think the issue is also with raising the deck, those stairs are going to come down longer, and they're going to be on the side property, they're going to be hitting into the setback, I think. So I think they probably need another variance, I think, on that, or special.
Well, have we determined where their property line is?
Yes, so with the plan show the property line, and we're not changing any of the overall footprint. I think one of the questions that they had was, did we originally change the footprint? We didn't, and we didn't attempt to. If we need to like set it back a foot or something, that's not really like a material thing to us. And then on the stairs specifically on that left side, they're gonna be, and the way they are right now is just a straight stair down. They're just gonna be in the same orientation with an extra,
You're going to put a turn in the middle and
yeah,
reverse
so
them?
it's just to go, account for the
Reverse them
height.
back into your property?
Exactly, yeah, but there's no,
But it's not shown that way on the plan?
I think it is on the left side. I can take a look, but we're not going into anybody's space, and we're not, certainly not going further towards the water at all either.
Chris, I didn't mean to step on you. You had the...
No, I was good. I just wanted to make that point that we thought there was going to be
No,
encroaching.
thank
and
you.
needed a
But I had
variance. And I don't remember seeing the plans. There was, I think they said that they expanded the deck without a permit. I think too, was part of, I
We
don't
were
think it was on the
accused-
original.
We were accused of that. And I'm not trying to start an argument. I think there's one corner where, like, the post is in question, but if you look at it where it is right now, if we didn't expand it, and if you were there to the seawall, like, if we were trying to expand it, I would have pushed it all the way up to the seawall, which I understand we didn't try to do, so.
Yeah, there's a little triangle there.
Yeah,
you
like,
know,
that wasn't like our
didn't notice.
ideal.
So I have a
Design.
question. Who owns the seawall, the town or you?
I would assume I do, but I don't know the
Do
answer.
you know where your property line is?
Oh, so yes, I think we own the seawall.
The property line is beyond the seawall?
Yes,
So the seawall is within your property?
correct,
So you own out into the beach, if that's
Correct.
the right term?
correct.
And we're talking about riparian rights now, we're talking about property lines and water, and do you own to the high tide mark, the low tide mark, moon high tide? Do you own to the middle of the, what, do you know where, can you tell us where you own?
I'm not 100% sure on that.
Okay.
why don't we stick with the commissioner letter? Let me hear from you,
My
man.
question, my reason
Okay.
for asking is because we're talking about setbacks, but setbacks from what? Nobody's established where his,
Sorry to interrupt you.
Hold on.
they're saying, if this is his lot and this is the seawall, he may own way over to here, and they're penalizing him for putting something that's within his own property. Or it could be the opposite. That's, we need to
Last
establish.
meeting, I thought we established that it was.
Sir, wait a minute. According to the commissioner, this is an existing non-conforming, building coverage, setbacks, building coverage, ratio, building ratio, and setback. But it's an existing non-conforming. If the board feels so, not so detrimental to the neighborhood, we could act upon it as a special permit. Nothing require variance if the board agrees it's a special permit. That's according to the commissioner. So I'm sure he saw the plan and he saw
So if
that.
there's no requirement of a variance, then the stairs aren't going beyond the
Well,
setback.
they're not going behind the set, they might, but it's an existing non-conforming. So if we think it's detrimental, then we call for a variance, he showed the hardship, then we'll argue it then. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do, and but I'm not sure we're all clear on it, because The argument is that by raising the house, the stairs got longer, so where they land has moved, so they are moving, and where they land is based on a setback from an undetermined property line, from what I'm hearing, but he's telling
Where
me...
is your site plan review? Who drafted your site plan?
Jed Hannon, he's on the call, and also the stairs don't protrude past the deck. There's no...
No, he said that they're returning it back into his own
They're only
property,
on the
so
side.
it couldn't be extending, he couldn't be increasing a nonconformity if he's returning it back in, he's moving away from the nonconformity,
We're not requesting any
based on
extension.
the evidence given.
And we're not extending,
You
we're not
following
requesting any
me?
extension.
You gotta wait until your turn is there,
I
guy.
apologize.
Paul, do you follow my logic, or...
The house was a pre-existing non-conforming,
Yep,
so it was in the setbacks. So they're raising the house, so they're increasing the height and the intensity that by height. I believe if you're looking at the house from Maple Ave, the set of steps would be in the front of the house does encroach further than the existing because of, again, it's elevated. But it's going to be, you should act on it as a special permit. They were already in the setback, they just went a little bit further.
you're within it, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That clear to everybody? All
The
right.
entire house, all four sides is basically in the setback.
All right,
That's what I wanted to know.
Thank you. Ma'am, your name and address for record?
Hi, my name's Elizabeth Coe, and we have the house next to them, 11 Maple Ave.
Okay.
And the reason I'm here is I just wanted to mention that, from what I understood, the deck should really be following the exact footprint as when the house was purchased, and it is not. And it is very close to the seawall. It's almost touching the seawall. So I just wanted to make that clear. And I was also wondering if I could address possibly with you the logistics plan. Is this a proper time?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So according to the logistic plans, it looks like there will be construction 8 to 5 Monday through Saturday. That's very disruptive to our neighborhood. It's disruptive to have things done on the weekend. It's not clear, according to the plan, how many construction vehicles will be permitted. How are they safely going to get them down this very narrow road? It's very tight. I believe some of you might have gone to see the property, and you can see how tight things are. I don't know how it's safely going to do this. I'm very concerned about damage to our property. We followed every rule. We got every proper permit, every application. We had someone oversight things. We did things right. Nothing has been done right by them, and I don't have faith in that they will do the same thing this time. They've attached a gate to our fence without permission. I do not trust them to follow the rules now. I just want to know how our property is going to be protected. And I feel that it's setting a bad precedent as a town to say, do whatever you want and ask for forgiveness tomorrow, you know, and that's basically what's happening. Do the right thing. I mean, they should have done the right thing in the first place. And I want to know, is he going to be required to get ample insurance to protect our property? We are so close to each other. And I know there's going to be something, and I just want to make sure that we're protected. I'm also asking that an additional fence be put up to protect our property, and I'm requesting that a neutral party be hired by the homeowner to oversee this project.
A neutral party to oversee the project? Okay. Keep
And I
going.
want something in writing about who's responsible for any damage to our property. I'm very concerned. It's so close. I don't know how they're going to get things done without something happening to our house. So that's really all I wanted to address.
All right. Well, here's how it is. If somebody wants to do construction, whether you, him, or anybody, it's got to get done. I know it's disturbing, but we could restrict it. If you don't want Saturday, fine. We could say, okay, 7:30 to 5 o'clock, Monday to Friday, period. We could put a condition fencing. So what do you want, like a 6-foot vinyl fence?
Yeah.
We could put a condition that put a fence. If he destructs your property, he's on the hook. Apparently, it's a valuable property. You could always lien his property. We can't make him say, I mean, he should know, and he has a valuable property, he loses property if he damages your property. Putting it in writing that he'll fix your property is useless because he's supposed to. And if he damages it, if he doesn't, apparently you'll take him to court and you make him pay for your lawyer and fixing your property. And I don't think he would do that. I'm sure he'll fix your property. But going to the subject that construction shouldn't be allowed, we can't stop people from building a house, that they have to. If they have to comply with FEMA and zoning, we can't tell them, you gotta keep it the way it is. We can't say that. It just, nobody would agree to this. No judge, nobody, no person. They have to do what they have to do to have a roof over the head, safe roof over the head. And we don't just say you have the right to just go do what you want. That's why he's here. Apparently, he's been going back and forth, and that's why he's here. So we don't just say go do what you want. There's some rules and regulations gonna have to follow, building codes, all these things, and he'll have a lot of inspections. Commissioners will be going there, building inspector, everybody will be watching. And this one requires a structure engineer. So on top of this, he needs an engineer to sign every step of the way because it's in a velocity zone. So the engineer's on the hook as well. So that being said, that's the answer for you.
Okay.
I mean, I know it's gonna be, hopefully they'll do the construction quick. We could restrict it, say, listen, you gotta finish the work in 4 months, you know? We could do this. I mean, if you like to see a fence, you like the construction to be done quick, and you don't like weekends, correct?
Correct.
Okay, we could do that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Anyone else here against or in favor of this project? So board member, what do you think? Rich? Rich, sorry. I'm losing. I'm getting tired already. Richard?
Nothing at this time.
Troy?
I'm good.
Jimmy?
My only thing that I heard was a fence. I don't oppose to us making a requirement that there be a fence during construction, but as far as demanding a white vinyl fence as a permanent fixture, I think that's going a little bit beyond our scope. I think that if we feel as though, I see construction projects and temporary fences get put up for the safety of the project, for security, for the safety of for many reasons, but to say to a homeowner, we require you to put up a white fence 6 feet tall, starting here and going there, I think that's just, I think that's a step beyond our place in this matter.
Well, maybe if he puts a fence, it's not so detrimental. We act on it as a
If he
special
wants a
permit.
fence, I'm not
You
saying
want
he
to put a fence?
I definitely am going to put a fence at the end. I'd like the opportunity to do a construction-style fence during the work, because it's just
Right.
going to get beat up, but I'm definitely going to have full coverage there. I don't really object to anything she said. It's a third party doing the
So
work.
he's happy to put a fence.
Yeah, so at the end, like, I just don't have that set up yet.
I just don't, I'm just not.
I get you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Troy? Commissioner, anything?
I'm good.
All right. Guys, nothing? So that being said, let's move to close.
So moved.
We have a motion to close 9 Maple Ave, 41-24. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Troy. All in favor, say aye. Troy?
Aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
Christopher?
Aye.
Richard?
Aye.
And myself, Nazir, aye. Closed. Wishes?
I think we've beat this thing to death. We've got the guy, you know, there was an indication that maybe things got a little out of control. I believe the applicant has tried to conform to the way we like to do things in Wareham, the way the commissioner wants them done. I think he's demonstrated a willingness to cooperate. I therefore move that we grant as per the plans presented, including the logistics plan.
All right, discussion on that, if we're gonna go for a special permit. You guys think it's so detrimental, or?
I move that it be a special permit.
Okay, do I have a second on that matter?
Second.
Second by Rich, any discussion on that matter? I hear none. All in favor to go for a special permit, say aye. Christopher?
Aye.
Richard?
Aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
Troy?
Aye.
And myself, Nazir, aye. So we special permit. On the special permit, what's the wishes on the special permit?
Motion to grant.
All right, on the special permit, motion to grant with the finding is not substantially detrimental, with the conditions. I would say the first condition that the applicant will, working hours will be Monday to Friday, excluding holidays, will be from 7:30 till 4:30. 7:30 to 4:30. Also, applicant will agree to put a construction fence. Okay, construction fence, and after the job is done, applicant agrees. Patty, make sure you put all this on the conditions. Are you doing that, Josh?
Sir.
All right. To install a 6-foot stockade or vinyl fence around his perimeter.
So just on the right side, right?
You want on the right, between you and the neighbor?
Yeah, between.
All right, okay, very well. On the right side, a 6-foot stockade, cedar or vinyl.
Okay.
Another condition, you have 6 months from the start to finish. I said 4, but I'm gonna give you 6 months, so you gotta move quick. You can't drag it.
Understood.
Usually, once you work, you're doing due diligence and you're working, if it takes you a year, it's fine, but in this situation, you know, and it'll be nice to start something like next month, and this way in the summer, you don't disturb the neighbors.
Understood, yeah. So I don't know exactly on the start date, but I can definitely do 6 months from the start date. That one, we have to do
Or
it.
maybe start in March and try to do it by June, it'll be nice.
Okay.
You want a 6-month work period, but you want... how-
Maximum.
You want to give them a period of time to get started?
No, not really. I can't do
I mean,
that. It's whenever he can get all stuff.
If you can't get anybody for 2 years.
2 years, his special permit would die. He come back again.
Okay.
You know, the special
I thought-
permits die in 2 years.
Just want to be clear that
So if you
So-
don't do the work, you gotta come back in 2 years, start again from
the work
scratch.
period is 6 months from the date of the start.
Right, you gotta get his finances, his plans, his engineer, structure. He needs to get,
Permit.
Trying to avoid-
Right.
I'm just trying to avoid somebody setting 6-month date as today. That's what I'm trying to avoid right now with my question.
no, not today. It would take him, by the time Sonia comes back, do the decision and stamp it and get a permit, that's 2 months.
People hear what they want to hear, not what we say.
Yeah. All right, so that being said, everybody good with the conditions? Any more discussion on conditions? That being said, can we get a second on Jim's motion?
Second.
Second by Richard. All in favor of granting the special permit as stated with the conditions, say aye. Troy?
Aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
Richard?
Aye.
Christopher?
Aye.
And myself, Nazir, aye. It carries. So you good to go? You could start getting your things together. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate everyone's time.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next one, 43-24, James Rathbun, 36 Datewood Street. Which one?
We have, okay. I do have a big plan here that you like a big plan. We do have these that were handed to us this evening. 1, 2, 3. One for you.
Go ahead.
Hey, sorry, I wasn't pulling that away from you.
thank you.
I want to make the comment that,
Just for the record, Mr. Richard sample one and break.
okay, and I might need one too. You might be sitting there for a few minutes. We've made a policy that if stuff is submitted to us, we want at least 2 weeks to review it, so,
Well, Sonia's been out.
so this stuff might have been turned in and we just didn't get it, okay. Okay, so we're not gonna,
We're not gonna impose it,
We're not
tonight,
gonna-
enforce it.
we're gonna accept this stuff as having been turned in on a
You wanna
timely
take a
manner.
break before we continue?
Yeah, but, yeah, I'll go.
Mr. Chairman, I haven't seen any of it.
Des?
Nope.
We'll continue anyway.
Yeah,
Just go through it for right now.
just so you have a copy, but.
All right, Jimmy, why
Yes.
don't you go to bed? Mr. Akabachi, go on a break, 5-minute break, we'll come back.
If I go to the restroom?
Okay, wanna be quiet? Billy, we're back in action. Thank you, Counselor. All right, Phil. Chief, Captain. All right, 43-24, Mr. Rathburn, special permit 35 Datewood Street. We need your name for the record and address.
My name is James Rathman, 35 Gatewood Street, Wareham.
Okay, public hearing's still open. How'd you make out from last time?
So I contacted the site engineer, and he gave me that new drawing. Took about almost a little over 2 weeks to get. I did try to submit, and I showed you the emails earlier. And when I didn't hear back from Sonia, I then proactively reached out to Ken, who, instructed me what I had given him would have been sufficient, or I would have come down with these drawings. I had them. I also took those drawings and I made a PowerPoint that you have in front of you, blow up the section that we're talking about so that we could clearly see what was going on. I took the advice of the board from the last time. They made some suggestions, and I made to start over, so to decommission and to start from scratch. I did engage a contractor who should be applying for a demolition permit shortly if he hasn't already started.
Okay, so you're gonna demolish the one you did in 2019 and the
Correct,
one you
that'll-
did on 2024?
That will be demolished, yeah.
Both of them?
I wasn't planning on doing the other one, but I can. I mean, if that's going to be there's nothing up there, I'll just
The
take the wall.
2024, that pad, it says under construction,
Yeah, there's just a wall and a floor. I can just take that down too.
but you need to, and for foundation has to be inspected.
Yep, I can dig a hole and shoot on the foundation.
Okay, so,
Excuse me.
that's in 2024.
Yeah, he said I can dig a hole. Do you want it removed, or do you want it...
Whatever the commissioner wants, it's
Okay.
not us, it's building code, this
Okay.
is not us. So, let me tell you something, if this is not our jurisdiction, if the commissioners don't see the foundation, we can't help you, we can't overrule him,
Well, I understand that.
okay?
Totally understand that the only thing I'm here for today is relief on the side setback. I still have to conform to anything that he says as far as building.
Okay,
I totally understand.
so you will decommission these things, and you need, is that existing non-conforming?
Yes, sir.
One second.
9,000, right, it's a 9,000 square foot lot, yes.
And the setbacks is existing non-conforming?
Correct, yep.
It's non-conforming, so he can extend the non-conformity if the board choose to, right? Are you unmuted now? Oh, sorry. Here, how's that? Is the side setback non-conforming on the side?
Yes,
Okay,
yeah. It was at 7 feet, he went to 5.
all right. So the board member, if he decommissions all this and the commissioner tells us, okay, the board willing to give him special permit?
Sure, I am.
Richard? Troy?
Yep.
Jimmy? Act on it as a special permit.
If we're gonna act, yeah, I guess we can act as a special permit as opposed...
Because it's existing non-conforming.
I just heard 5 and 7,
The house right now is at 7 feet.
and you wanna...
He's gonna go to 5.
He's gonna go to 5.
It's fine, it's existing non-conforming.
So you're gonna be 2 feet closer to the property line.
Correct.
If the board feel it's not so detrimental, we could do that.
Okay.
And the board apparently okay if he complies. All right, anyone in the public for this project? Anyone against this project? Here are none, so why don't you do that, start this, and the board will give you a go-ahead next meeting. But we have to hear from the commission and say you did what you're supposed to do.
Okay.
And we'll give you the permit next time.
I would take it, can I just, I know you're going to continue it, but can I just apply for when I got to get the work done? It's not going to be done in 2 weeks.
You
We
need,
need more time.
Right, I need more time, because I got to get a
He
permit.
doesn't wanna come back in 2, he wants to come back in 4.
To take it down. So I imagine it's not going to be done in 2 weeks.
okay, we'll give you 4 weeks.
We can't approve it with condition that it's taken down?
Always get burned. I learned that.
I'm going to be in Houston on the last week of October for work.
October 23, you can't be here,
I cannot be here on the 20th.
so you wanna go into November?
Yes, sir.
I tell you what, you don't have to be here, but The commission will be here. If you did what you're supposed to do, we'll open the public hearing and we'll grant you the permit.
Okay, great.
Is that good?
That's good.
As
yeah.
long as the commissioner said you did what you're supposed to do.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay, very well. So let's
Apologize for any mix-up on the paperwork.
problem.
I really did try to comply.
No problem. Things happen. I'm
So we're
glad you-
continuing to October 23.
Yes. How are we doing, deadline?
Deadline is good.
Am I good, Phil?
It's
All right.
Oh,
11/26.
Good. All right,
That's good.
can we get a motion to continue 43-24 till
October 23rd, so moved.
Second.
second by Richard? All in favor, say aye. Troy?
Aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
Richard?
Aye.
Christopher?
Aye.
Myself, Nazir, aye. We'll see you then. I mean, we're not gonna see you. We'll take care of it.
thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, next hearing,
Do I have anything from that one back?
45,
You get yours back.
Yep, I put it on
Give it
top
to
of the
me. You got it.
file.
Okay, that's what I took. Gave mine to the commissioner.
45-24, 2406 Cranberry Highway.
Okay. Stacking these up like this so that I can...
All right, Counselor, public hearing still open, just a name for the record.
Sure, Attorney Jillian Morton, 184 Main Street.
Bill Madden, GF Engineering, on behalf of the applicant.
Okay, I thought this was the first public.
No, we're on the third.
No,
The last one.
that's not the first public hearing, right?
This is our
That's the
third
second.
We're on
That's the old Nissan Baker, right?
No, this is...
This is the warehouse.
Yeah, this has been opened. It's been read in.
Statewood.
We're on number
That's
one.
Mickey?
No, we're here.
Yeah, the old Nissan Baker.
Yeah,
We just
third.
did Datewood.
I think it's our
He's
third
gone.
time.
He just
Oh,
walked
okay,
out.
okay,
The
sorry.
old Nissan Baker.
Sorry, my fault.
Okay, that's okay. All right, where did we leave it last time?
Do you have paperwork there for it? I just want to make sure everyone. We have-
Paperwork for what? Plans we have?
Yeah.
No, you don't have the plans because we just received the review letter on Monday of this week,
Oh,
and we
you have it.
prepared the revisions to the plans and the cover letter. Would not expect you to review them tonight at the meeting, but I have all of the information.
Yeah, why don't you hand those out, and then I'll just chat where we are. We had a peer review, and like you said, we got those on Monday, and Mr. Madden was able to get a response to those. This was that limited scope review because the site was already pretty much almost in compliance, so just trying to make sure everything else was taken care of.
Thank you.
You know, I
Thank
think
you.
we would be wanting, maybe if Phil has any comments, I know he just got our response letter, but this is one of those that we're looking to see if we're able to get to vote tonight
Okay,
because of the
what's
limited scope.
hanging that,
Yeah, do you want to have,
Phil, do you mind?
Thank you.
Didn't we have some discussion on whether or not
I have it.
this use was different than originally thought, and because of the use, it may not even need us? Did we have that discussion, or? I'm going by
The-
memory.
the commissioner was discussing, the use being as storage, just renaming what it is, if I'm correct? To storage.
So,
Go ahead, Commissioner.
Just trying to think.
Yeah, I know it's on the table.
They storing cars.
The original letter cited that the storage was an accessory use of the principal use, and that's
Yep.
not true. So it has an office
Because
space,
they
which
have a
is allowed.
construction company,
Right.
so it's
And
not
then
an access, it's a separate business.
It was originally told to me that it was going to be a antique car company with office space and then storage of the antique vehicles. So that would be associated,
The main use.
the main use.
Yeah,
And then that came out that it would be two different things. It would be a business in the front using the office space, and then the storage would be for the antique car collection.
right, so
Let
that
me-
back would be storage.
Let me ask a question. Aren't the same owner who's running the construction, they own it?
Correct. Well, the end user, yeah, is going to
So,
be
are
his
they-
company and personal storage of his antique.
But they'll be
trucks.
running the storage while they're there, basically.
Yeah, yeah, it's his
You
collection.
know what I'm saying? So.
Correct, right.
All right, so what's the hang-up?
I don't think there's any. I think it should just be a variance for storage space. We don't, in town, we don't allow storage in an industrial zone. So it'd just
Okay,
be a variance for
I believe you guys
storage
voted on
space.
that.
We give a variance.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now
I
it's
think
just
we're
site
good.
plan, so,
Yeah, we did give a variance.
Correct,
Last time,
yeah.
now we're in a site plan.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay, Phil,
Yeah.
just a name for the record.
Phil Cordero, Allen and Major Associates, 10 Main Street in Lakeville. Mr. Chair, we're in a good spot relative to peer reviews. We did receive Mr. Madden's information this afternoon. We've had a chance to take a look at it. We only have a couple of items that we'll just raise to the board's attention, and then you can determine, the meaning of it. One item that we typically carry is there's no correspondence from the fire department relative to the site plans. We always recommend just having that on record since they are redesigning the parking and circulation of the site. Number two, they are proposing a new and robust drainage system. We're good with all of the calculations. Everything looks great, except they didn't do soil test pits. So if you wanted to move this application forward, would suggest a condition that they dig the test pits and they get verified prior to construction. The last two items are really discretionary. We pointed them out in the letter in that they are revising the site in a wholesale way, say for the building. Along that portion of Cranberry Highway, Route 28, there's a 50-foot landscape buffer along the front and a 40 required on the rear for residential abutters. They have parking in the front 50-foot landscape buffer, and we draw your attention to that. And then at the rear, they have their drainage field, which will essentially be a large open grassed field with no landscaping proposed on it. We think there are opportunities that the one space that's in the 50-foot landscape front buffer could be adjusted, and then some plantings could be added to the benefit of the site at the rear. The applicant disagrees. He thinks the drainage is good as it is and the parking should stay as it is. So I'll just draw your attention to it.
Say it again, what's wrong with the parking?
So if you're looking at the site plan, the first handicap space
Yeah.
would fall within the 50-foot landscape buffer setback.
Oh, okay, from the road.
From the road, yes, sir. And since they're reconfiguring the entirety of the parking area, it would seem that could be made compliant.
The bylaws there says 50 foot from the highway?
Yes.
That's harsh.
It's because it's zoned industrial.
Yeah.
The zoning is...
So you need they would need a variance for that.
So if you allowed it to proceed, I think they would need the variance. Obviously, given the site that is a large redevelopment, you could consider that it's all paved there today, that they're improving the situation.
Yes.
So we believe that was pre-existing non-conforming. So it was already there, so I think that's why that's
Yeah.
there, so we're
We'll
using.
run it by the board, see. What do you think about just a variance, instead of 50 feet, like 40 on the front, Chris?
I'm fine with that.
Usually it's 20 feet, but because it's this year, 50, I mean, it's crazy. Richard?
I'm fine with it.
Troy?
I don't have a problem with it.
Jimmy?
I'm all set.
I'm good. And what do you guys feel in the back for the drainage? How far is the trailer park in the back from that, Billy?
That's I don't know where the closest trailer is, but that's sort of like a little tail on the big piece of property. It's not really a usable piece of land, and that piece of land of the trailer park would also be subject to the site, to the landscape buffer and what have you, so it's vegetated as it stands right now.
There's a lot of woods there.
There's a fair band of woods there, yes.
All right, going back to the board, so in the back, there's a trailer park, but there's a lot of wood, so I don't see the need where the drainage needs for landscape, and eventually it's gonna grow. What do you think, Christopher?
I'm okay with it.
Richard?
I think it'll add to the trees growing.
Huh?
It'll add to the trees growing back there.
Yeah, a lot of, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
there are a lot of them.
Jimmy?
I think it's fine the way it's drawn.
I think it looks good,
I
so,
think it's great that Phil pointed it out to us,
Right.
but I think I'm good with it.
so I would say, let's say we'll vote for the variance tonight for the back and the front. Councilor, if we grant the permit tonight, the soil test pits will be conditional? Yes.
There's new test pits. The test pit soil logs are on the second plan sheet. They were done in July.
Oh, July? Did you see those?
So we didn't look at them. We're familiar with the area, we can verify it, we'll check
Pretty
it during
sandy there.
construction. We're not, honestly, we're not overly concerned about it, should you choose to act on it, without the condition.
I would, the soil test came good, Mr. Madden?
Yes, they're all good. There's a textural soil class break on that site as you get toward the
back.
dry cleaner, in the rear toward the car wash and what have you. Little soils might not be so good over there, better as we go to the north, I guess we'd call it. But yeah, they're very suitable.
Okay, on the fire department comment, the only thing is, I don't have a problem saying yes tonight, but if once they get the plan and say, we don't like it, you're gonna have to come back.
Mr. Madden?
I met with,
Chris?
Captain Smith on the parking, and that's how we came up with the 90-degree turn going toward the storage unit, and that little tail that we back out in so they could back in, drive in, back up, and then drive out of the site. So I'll make sure that I...
All what I'm saying, once you go for your permit, if he doesn't sign off, you're in trouble. You're
Exactly.
gonna have to start again. It's used, I mean, it is what, you're gonna get caught. If it's something wrong, you're gonna have to
Yeah,
come
no,
back.
and I think I'll forward
All
a
right.
copy of it to him as well.
Anyone in the public in favor of this matter? Anyone against? Board member, any questions before we close?
Nope.
Okay, hearing none, let's close.
Motion to close the public portion of this hearing.
I have a second motion by Jim,
Second.
second by Troy. All in favor to close public hearing, say aye. Troy?
Aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
Richard?
Aye.
Christopher?
Aye.
And myself, Nazir, aye. Close. On the variance for the landscaping in the back and the setback from the front for the landscaping buffer, can we have a motion on that variance?
Yeah. We're gonna grant relief from the current bylaw to allow the existing conditions to prevail.
Okay, motion to grant the variance from the landscaping buffer on the front and the landscaping buffer, the actual landscaping in the back. And motion for this, conditions are, findings are meet statutory requirement of 40A, section 10. Do I have a second on that?
Second.
Second by Mr. Sample. All in favor, say aye. Christopher?
Aye.
Richard?
Aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
Troy?
Aye.
Myself, Nazir, aye. So you good with the variance? On the site plan review, on the site plan, what's the wishes?
I'm happy with the plan presented. I make a motion to approve as presented.
Motion to approve the site plan as presented by Jim. Do I have a second on that?
Second.
Second by Richard. All in favor, say aye. Christopher?
Aye.
Richard?
Aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
Troy?
Aye.
And myself, aye. It carries. Thank you. You get your variance, your site plan.
I'm sorry, did you already vote on the use?
The variance? We gave you the...
Use. I just want to make sure that's on record. I
The
can't
use,
recall.
we gave you the variance last time
We did
on
that
the
last time.
storage.
Okay,
I think
I recall that, I just, you know.
No, let me, let
Maybe
me,
just do it.
no, let me re-explain. The bylaws says more than 40% storage, you need a variance. You have 50 or 60. So we made we gave you a variance for that. Now the use, as the commissioner said, you mean? Even though I'm sure they're running the show. So what do you want? Do you want a variance for that?
I think it's already been corrected.
It's good?
We
Yeah.
took care of it
It's
during
all
the
set.
last meeting.
Okay.
You got
Right.
variance
So it's
for,
Plus, I'm sure that, I know the
I know,
couple,
I
they're
just
gonna
didn't
run
wanna
the
have
show.
to-
I mean, they're not gonna hire somebody from somewhere to run the storage. They're there every day.
Okay.
All right, very well, thank you, that's good.
Thanks very much.
You're very welcome, thank you. Next, public hearings. We start with the public hearing. 46-24, Leslie Furnham, special permit on 26 Longwood Ave. On that matter, the applicant has withdrawn because apparently they don't need to come before us for, to have a bathroom added or something. So that application been withdrawn. Can we get a motion to accept the withdrawal without prejudice?
So moved.
So we have a motion to accept the withdrawal without prejudice on 46-24 Leslie Farnham on 26 Longwood Ave. Do I have a second on that?
Second.
Second by, is that Chris? You said- Christopher said second. All in favor, say aye. Christopher?
Aye.
Richard? Aye. Troy?
Aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
Okay, and myself, Nazir, aye. It's withdrawn without prejudice. 46-24, withdrawn. Okay, we go to the next public hearing. 47-24, Cranway Realty Trust, 3044 Cranberry Highway. Council, is that two application and 3042?
Yes,
Okay,
Outline, it turns out, sits on two different lots.
okay. So we're gonna call it together, both of them. So it's 48-24 and 47-24, Cranway Realty Trust. So two application for variance for 3042 Cranberry Highway and 3044 Cranberry Highway. All right, let's read the thing for the public, for public record, and we get to you, Councilor.
So 47 and 48 are both, are we hearing both of them at the same
Yes.
time? Do I need to read them both then?
Yeah, we should. You want to hear them both at the same time, right, Councilor?
I just assume if the
Yeah,
board doesn't mind,
it
it's a
makes
lot more
sense.
efficient.
It makes sense, yeah.
So regarding 4724, the Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on September 25th, 2024 at 6:30 PM in Room 520 of the Wareham Multi-Service Center, 48 Marion Road, Wareham, Mass. 02571, to consider petition number 47-24 for a variance from the requirements of Article 11, Section 1128, Section 1167, and Section 1172, under the Wareham zoning bylaws, to Cranberry Realty Trust, Nancy S. Angus, trustee, care of Robert L. Perry, Esquire, of 191 Main Street, Wareham, Mass., proposing to add sign faces to an existing frame on an existing sign located at 3044 Cranberry Highway, Wareham, Mass. This all appears on Assessors Map 131, Lot C, in the Commercial Strip zoning district.
Let's read the other one.
Regarding the abutting property, the Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on September 25th, 2024 at 6:30 PM in Room 520 of the Wareham Multi-Service Center, 48 Marion Road, Wareham, Mass. 02571, to consider petition number 48-24 for a variance from the requirements of Article 11, Section 1128, Section 1167, and Section 1172, under the Wareham zoning bylaws, to Cranway Realty Trust, Nancy S. Angus, trustee, care of Robert L. Perry, Esquire, of 191 Main Street, Wareham, Mass., seeking to replace faces on 3 existing pylon signs located at 3042 Cranberry Highway, Wareham, Mass. This appears on Wareham Assessors Map 131, Lot D, in the Commercial Strip zoning district.
All right, Council, it's yours.
My name is Robert Perry, 191 Main Street in Wareham, and I represent the petitioner. I'm sure that all of you are familiar with Cartland. It's been there since probably sometime between 68 and 70. And that's why I've suggested in my letter to the board that the signs are probably 54 years old or older. The signs that are there right now on two different pieces of property, once again, were first permitted in 87, even though they were put up back in probably the late 60s. They were re-permitted in the 90s after Hurricane, I think it was Bob in the 90s. Did a job on them, they fixed them up, and they were re-permitted by this board. The situation here is that the signs do not comply with the current zoning bylaw. There's no question of that. And unfortunately, the sign bylaw doesn't really grandfather them. As soon as you got to do almost anything, other than perhaps straight repairs, which is really what we're looking to do, but we're going to make some minor changes for the benefit of the town. Reduce wording and make things look a little nicer than they were. But at any rate, there's no grandfathering like there normally would be here in the signs, because the bylaw specifically gets rid of that. So what happened is there was a bad windstorm, and it damaged both signs. The sign on 3044, and I've given you a photograph of, one photograph shows you both signs.
Right.
All it needs is, there is a little sign, if you look at the photograph, my exhibit, I don't know where it is.
Exhibit D.
D is my photograph?
Exhibit D, yeah. Photographs.
What happens, that sign is, right now, quite honestly, it's probably just a hair over 20 feet because it's been settling of the ground since the highway came in and did the work they've been doing. I couldn't get an exact measurement on that one, it was just too difficult. I did get an exact measurement on the other one. But it,
For point
One
of point of
small panel.
clarification, the red sign or the white sign?
the red sign.
Thank you.
Okay, that's the one on 3044. Very important to the applicant because the kart land, the go-karts and the bumper boats are like 300 feet off the road. There's nothing there. The public wouldn't, going by, if they weren't familiar with it, wouldn't know it's there because the only thing they have to rely upon is the sign. And that's important to the bylaw because that permits you to grant what in the bylaw we call a variance, but it really isn't a variance, like we do under 40A. All you have to find is there's a hardship and there's no derogation from the intent of the bylaw. And I don't think there is, certainly a
Let me ask
hardship.
you a question. So what are you just changing the facade of the sign or you changing the whole sign?
No, not changing the whole sign. I mean, that would be ungodly expensive. The frame is still there. On the red sign, it's a 3-part sign. The middle part was blown out. Very small part on my sign, guys, and you can see it here in the
So
photograph.
between Cartland and Unlimited Rights, there was a sign there that blown? That's gone? Or the Cartland go-kart, the red sign you
In the middle
wanna...
of the photograph, you see an empty space.
Yeah.
That was blown out in the storm, and we propose to put in this little same size sign. This fits right into the frame that's already there, 47 by .125 by 42.125, just identical to the old one. We want to change the name to Bumper Boats, that's all.
Do you have a plan for the new sign?
Yeah, it's right here.
I have given you in Exhibit C, a picture of all 3 panels that we're dealing with.
How long ago that middle sign was gone?
Was in one of the bad windstorms we had in late '23.
Over a year. October, I think it was maybe not quite a year, but
I don't think it's quite a year, but it's close.
it's coming on to a year.
So Cartland Mini Golf, the new sign Cartland Mini Golf, where is it going?
That is going on what Jim calls the white sign.
Okay.
And the reason is, if you look at my photograph once again, same photograph for both applications.
Okay. And what is
And
Hot
I didn't do a
Eats?
very good job because I was afraid I was going to get killed there trying to take photographs. And I was pretty busy at times.
Hot
But
Eats is gonna
looking
go
at
right
my
underneath.
photograph,
Okay.
on the opposite side, there's no sign at all anymore. It just blew away, it's gone. And Nancy has ropes there holding the sign that's on the side you see in. So we'd simply like to replace that. And replacing it, once again, it's the, I should pull the thing out so I can find it.
Is it the same size?
Same exact size, has to be to fit in the frame.
So the Hot Eats and Cool Treats, these signs exist right now, you're just putting them new.
Hot Eats and Cool Treats is
We're
going to
just
go
putting-
where it currently says ice cream.
Okay, the only one you add in Bumper Boats because the wind blew it. It's not there. That's the only
not
one.
there. So we'd like to put it back. It didn't say
Put it-
bumper boats, I've forgotten what it said, but
Adding it to the picture.
what we're
but
trying
not
to do
adding-
here,
The sign, it was there before.
it was there, we're not adding, and she's doing is reducing the amount of wording on the signs, because both the 87 bylaw they were originally permitted under, and I think the new bylaw wants as little words as possible so that we're not distracting traffic as they're trying to drive by. So that's part of the intent on the new replacement panels, is to reduce the words that the public's looking at, so they don't have to cause a problem by reading for too long. So that's why all we want to put there is the bumper boats.
All right, let's start by board question. Troy, what do you think on that?
I don't have an issue with it.
Christopher?
I don't have an issue with this. Looks like they're just replacing panels in the sign, in existing signs. I mean, it's been there forever. I remember going there when I was a kid with my brother, my older brother. He wasn't tall enough to get on the cart, so I had to drive him around. But I'm fine with this. I think it's a nostalgic entertainment place, and I'm fine with keeping the signs and just replacing the panels.
Richard?
I'm fine with it.
Jimmy?
I'm good.
Well, I guess the board's fine. The author of the bylaw is somehow to bring the signs to the new bylaws, somehow. But then if the board member feel that it's fine, but it would be nice, but it'd be very costly to make it somehow comply.
It would. And as I read the bylaw, and not to be hard to get along with, but I could come up with an application for a new sign and use the variance provisions in the bylaw for a new sign.
Right.
I'm not. I'm a 54-year-old sign, at least, or maybe longer. They bought the property and went to work immediately back in 1968, as you can see from the deeds.
I totally understand, but I'm trying to tell you, the author of the whoever did the new bylaw of the sign, it is harsh. But well, even if you paint it, you're supposed to apply for a
I
variance.
see that. That's why I said it's really no grandfathering.
So I guess they wanted the people to come somehow close to the new laws, which is very hard, so it is what it is. Anyone in the audience want to speak in favor or against this matter? I hear none. Board member, before we close, you have a question? I hear none. Let's move to close.
So moved.
On the matter 47 and 48-24, 3044 and 342 Cranberry Highway, we have motion to close by Mr. Akabachi. Do I have a second?
Second?
Second by Christopher. All in favor say aye. Troy? Jimmy?
Aye.
Richard?
Aye.
Christopher?
Aye.
And myself, Nazi, is aye. Closed. On the variance, on these both matters.
So on both matters, and it's the 3 panels that we looked at.
That's it. That's all it is. Those 3 panels are the
On both
big signs.
47 and 48, I move to grant the relief as requested.
Okay, we have a motion to grant the relief. The finding is meets statutory requirement of a variance 40A, section 10. Do I have a second on that? Second by Richard. All in favor say aye. Richard?
Aye.
Christopher?
Aye.
Troy?
Aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
And myself, Nazi, aye. It carries. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Council. Thank you. 49-24, 115th Street, and it is for...
The Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on September 25th, 2024 at 6:30 PM in room 520 of the Wareham Multi-Service Center, 48 Marion Road, Wareham, Mass. 02571, to consider petition number 49-24 for a special permit and/or variance from the requirements of Article 13, Section 1355, 1356, 1357, and 1358 of the Wareham zoning bylaws to Diane M. Strzelski, or whatever the heck your crazy name is. Why can't you have a simple one like mine?
Yeah, right.
Care of Brian Grady
You think it's
of
simple?
GAF Engine. That's, to me, after 73 years, it seems pretty normal. Engineering of 266 Main Street, Wareham, Mass., proposing to raise the existing dwelling and reconstruct a new dwelling located at 115th Street, Wareham, Mass. Assessors map 11, Lot 1A, in the R30 zoning district.
Where's Diane and where's GAF?
They left.
We're going to see if they're in the
Commissioner?
hallway.
Is there anybody in the hall? Would you mind looking, sir?
Commissioner?
Yes.
I'd like to ask, it's usually posted as projects on the website. These last 2, there's nothing about them. I went to the properties, I see the property, but I don't know what is entailed, so I'm just curious, is there some other place that I can find this stuff when it's not on there?
It's here.
I'm looking at it right now. It
Look, he
says
wants
zoning
to
board
see
of
it.
Appeals, and it's not on there.
I know, Sonia's gone.
Pre-meeting, that's what he's
We
looking for.
crippled without Sonia, but we won't take decision, we'll continue, but,
I'm just saying, I don't even,
I know.
we're not even, and
We're missing,
We could
supposed to
listen.
have 2 weeks for plans, and I can't even get something for that, so I'm not making any decision
I know,
tonight.
we'll continue, but let's hear it and we can continue. I know, so, when's Sonia coming back?
Is she coming back?
No. Oh, yeah, don't even say that.
I think she'll be back on Monday.
Monday? Okay.
I hope she'll be back on Monday. How about that?
All right,
she listens to the minutes of this meeting, she may,
so I'd say goodbye.
okay.
See you there.
Go ahead, Brian.
No, you gotta open it.
Oh,
Oh, you said it.
I already
Oh,
read it,
sorry.
didn't I?
I know, you confused us, we thought you left. Where's your client? She's not
Sorry,
here?
Mr. Perry grabbed me out in the hallway.
She's not here?
No, she's out of state right now, unfortunately.
All right, let's hear that quick. We're not gonna make a decision because I need a board member, we couldn't get to really look at it, so, but you could fill us in.
Sure. For the record, Brian Grady, GAF Engineering, here for Diane Strzelecki, 115th Street. I have the letter from the commissioner here couching this. This is a tear-down rebuild on an undersized, non-conforming lot. The commissioner's letter couches this as mostly a special permit. May want to consider it as a variance. If you have the commissioner's letter in front of you, it states under section 1355, a lawfully pre-existing non-conforming single-family structure made by special permit be demolished and replaced with a new structure on the same site provided the Board of Appeals determines the replacement structure will not be substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood than the existing structure, and one, replacement structure will not cause or contribute to undue nuisance hazard or congestion in the neighborhood, which this doesn't. Number two, the replacement structure will not intensify any of the following existing nonconformities. One being building coverage, which we do increase building coverage by less than 1%. And what that really comes down to is, you can see the reconstruction, basically we're following the same footprint, but the increase is, the new home will have a basement, so that increase is basically the bulkhead. And the small increase in building coverage will be the bulkhead access to the basement. Impervious coverage, we're slightly increasing that because that goes with the building coverage. Or setback encroachment, we're not increasing or decreasing the setbacks to property lines. And number three, the replacement structure will not create any new nonconformities, which that's debatable. We're increasing floor area ratio, but we already exceed the 30% that's allowed with the existing structure because it's an undersized lot. So we're going up to 58%. So we're increasing it, but we're not creating a new nonconformity. So it's up to you whether you consider all of that a special permit or a variance. So we are on a very small lot. It's 2,770 square feet. This neighborhood, the original layout was done in the 1880s. This lot was divided from one of those 1880 lots and divided in half, creating this smaller lot, and that plan's dated 1947. And the home was originally constructed per the assessors in 1916, so it's over 100 years old. We have a meeting in a couple of weeks with the Historic Commission for demolition. I have a couple photographs here of homes in the neighborhood, directly in the neighborhood. So you'll see that what's proposed is not out of scale for direct homes in the neighborhood. Around to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is what they're gonna tear down?
That's a neighbor.
That's the one next
That's a
door.
neighbor.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
Not
directly,
tearing the neighbor's house down.
almost directly attached to it.
Yeah, it's
Pretty
right next
close.
door.
These are also homes in the direct neighborhood. So that home,
Oh, that's in, okay.
that yellow home is located directly to the left of the subject property. And the photograph with the two homes in it, that's just around the corner on Main Ave, one property removed from the subject property. So I think if you look at our proposed structure in these photographs, you'll see that what is proposed is not out of scale for the neighborhood. The property is surrounded by the flood zone, but where the house sits is not in the flood zone. We had a letter of map revision done a number of years ago, removing this footprint directly around the home, so none of the home as cited is within the flood zone. And that's a brief summary of the project. I know you'll be asking for a continuance. We have no objection to that. But with that brief summary, if there's any questions that come to mind, I can respond to.
Yeah, we are gonna give a chance for the board to look at it, unless some from the board wanna ask a question.
I don't have any questions.
So if I leave Onset and I head over Dummy Bridge,
Right on
First
the
left.
left.
first house on the left,
Yeah,
after I go over the bridge.
yeah, here's an aerial photograph.
Yeah. I'm asking more for anybody that's on Zoom.
So you're coming from Dummy Bridge
Yeah.
in this direction,
Yeah,
turn left on 15th Ave, 15th Street, and it's the first house on the right. And I'll just point out,
You gotta go back to the mic.
so having viewed that photograph, I'll just point out that it's a very small lot, but the appearance for the neighborhood, this is the property line here, this is the edge of the pavement. So this is town of Wareham property, it's within the street layout. So there's 60 feet from the property line to the edge of pavement, so appearance-wise, this lot appears larger, so just keep that in mind in your considerations.
All right, we make it minimum questions until we visit. Go ahead, Richard. Unless you wanna discuss it.
We can discuss it because he made it very clear to me what they're doing. I've also had a hunch that that's probably what was going on. I looked at the FAR and all the neighborhood around there, so as far as that goes, he's not doing anything that's not already been done in the neighborhood. I
Oh,
will
so
be-
you
I
okay?
will- I
You
will
don't
be-
wanna
on this
continue?
On this one, I would be willing to go ahead with.
All right, let's keep going then. So you okay with you have a question on what he's proposing?
Nope, he made it very clear when he
All right,
spelled it out.
Christopher,
No questions?
going back to Troy, we're not gonna continue, I mean, we may not continue.
we may not continue.
You may not. No, I don't have any questions.
Jimmy,
I see no need to continue it. I'm willing to make a positive motion in favor of this project.
all right, before we go forward, anyone on the public in favor of this project? In favor? Anyone against? Against? None? Okay. All right, very well. So we need all the reliefs if the, there's no straight variance, only it's a special permit if we don't think so detrimental, right?
That's my understanding.
Unless, but there's no straight variance, it's all special
Right, we're
permit if
not
we...
creating a new nonconformity, we are increasing it, but it's not a new nonconformity, so yes, I
Okay.
think you could go to
So I
special
make a
permit.
motion that it is not detrimental to the neighborhood and that it should be acted upon as a special permit.
All right, why don't we close this first and we go forward? Let's get a motion to close.
Motion to close.
We have a motion to close by Jim, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Troy, all in favor say aye. Troy?
Aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
Richard?
Aye.
Christopher?
Aye.
And myself, Nazir, aye. It's closed. All right,
I repeat my motion that I don't find it detrimental, therefore I move that we act on this as a special permit.
and on all the,
Matters.
on all matters, okay. Any discussion on that? Hearing none, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Troy, all in favor say aye. Troy?
Aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Richard?
Aye.
And myself, Nazir, aye. So special permit it is. On the special permit, what's the wishes?
I make a motion that we grant relief, approval, as proposed with standard conditions.
Very well. So standard conditions, finding not so detrimental to the neighborhood and to be built as per plan provided by JF Engineering, stamped July 22nd, 2024. Do I have a second on that?
Second.
Second by Troy. All in favor, say aye. Troy?
Aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
Christopher?
Aye.
Richard?
Aye.
And myself, Nazir, aye. It carries. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Next one, last one. Oh, thank you, buddy. Oh, that's my notes. Thanks, buddy. All right, 50-24, Edward R. Loring, 11 Pearl Ave.
You guys are aware that this board has a policy that we have to say no at least once every night.
I think I heard a couple no's already.
You've approved everybody, so. Hang on a minute, just let me read it in, please. Josh, I got one folder out of order on the second box, but it'll be obvious.
No worries.
Captain, Lieutenant, are you here for this matter?
He's just here because
Oh, good.
he just likes it, you know?
Just here for the fun.
The zoning board of appeals will hold a public hearing on September 25, 2024 at 6:30 PM in room 520 of the Wareham Multi-Service Center, 48 Marion Road, Wareham, Mass. 02571, to consider petition number 50-24 for a variance from the requirements of Article 6, Table 621, and Article 13, Section 1361, under the Wareham zoning bylaws, to Edward R. Loring of 11 Pearl Avenue, Wareham, Mass., proposing to build a second floor for additional living space to an existing cottage located at 11 Pearl Avenue, Wareham, Mass. This appears on Assessors Map 1, lots 187B and 195B in the R30 zoning district.
Thank you. Is this the one you want to have a chance to continue, or you want to listen to?
Well, you guys are going to listen to it. I stopped by, I did speak with the homeowner. He gave me a background of it. But my conversation with him told him the reason why I needed backgrounds because I couldn't get any information. So he spelled it out to me. Let him spell it out to you guys, and we can go from there.
Very well. We need a name and address for the record.
Edward Loring at 11 Pearl Ave.
Dana Ward, 198 Club Valley Drive, East Falmouth, his contractor.
All right, very well. Let's hear what he's trying to do.
Richard, since you weren't able to see the elevation plan, would you like a copy? Do you have it?
Is it in here?
Yes, it should be. Yeah. Hi, so in my backyard, I have a small cottage. It is fairly close to the boundary line. Off the back, it's 2 feet off the boundary line, and off the side, it's a foot. This is a cottage that my grandparents used to rent from the women who owned the main house on the other lot, back in like the 60s. What I'm proposing is just to increase the square footage to, we're not changing the footprint or the setback. I'd like to just go up and create a small porch coming off the front. And the reason for this is because my daughter, over the past year and a half, has suffered a pretty severe seizure disorder, and we really needed to keep her close to home. And as she moves off to college, we really, in order for her to have her own space, we really need to have her close to home, and this would be a place for her. I mean, the main house is only 972 square feet, which is not enough, and we needed the additional space.
May I, through the board?
Sure, go ahead.
The main house is
972 square feet.
972, and what's the footprint of this?
240.
So doubled in height, it'll be 480?
Roughly around it, yes. Yes.
Okay. So you're about 50% the size of the main house with this accessory unit. that about ballpark?
Yes, as far as living
Half
space.
of 900 is 450.
Right, yep.
His daughter has issues that she has to be in a different type of environment. They have dogs and such like that, and that she has to, they can't isolate her in the house. So in this own unit, they'll be able to take care of her better as far as, you know, her health conditions.
I have one additional question before I... you said your daughter is going to go off to college.
Yeah, she's going to a community college, and...
Local, you're going to be able to commute from here to college, or?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so she's going to be...
Staying in there,
She's-
yeah. Hopefully.
It's just like she's just going from junior high to senior high. She's still going to be home.
Right.
Right. She's not traveling across the country.
No, she decided against that because of this new diagnosis.
Because of her medical situation.
This happened after COVID struck.
So
it's been bad.
So, is this an accessory dwelling unit that would fall under this new?
Well, let me, if I may,
Yeah.
why don't you lay it to us? We're getting tired, and I'm getting tired to understand what's happening. So what's the deal?
It's an existing cottage, which I'm considering as an accessory building.
Accessory dwelling.
Dwelling.
And the accessory dwelling is, what's the size of it?
That law is not in effect right now.
480.
Oh, the size of it's 12 by 20.
Sir, I'm asking, let him answer.
So it's a total of 500 square feet.
Okay.
Up and down?
Up and down, yep.
All right, and that requires a variance? To have a second dwelling?
I didn't treat it as this. I treated it as an alteration and extension of other structures.
Okay.
It doesn't have its own address. It's just a small little building in the back. It's a cottage. So I'm calling it an accessory building, dwelling, and that requires a variance because if you look at note number 4 under 1361, note 4. So it's increasing the, intensifying, working in the, God, long night. Working in the setback and increasing the height.
Wouldn't that be existing non-conforming, and like, if we feel so, could be as a special permit? Because it's non-conforming.
It's not a dwelling. It's an accessory building.
But they're gonna make it dwelling.
Correct.
Well, it has...
One second, please. I'll get to you. So they're gonna make it dwelling. Don't they need a variance to grade dwelling, or it falls under the ADU?
That's the governor.
It's a cottage that I'm calling an accessory unit, dwelling, structure to the main building.
All right, okay.
So that's why I thought it fell under 1361 pretty much.
Okay, very well. Yes, sir.
It had a bathroom, kitchen, everything on the first floor.
It
So-
had it already?
Yes. it
Okay,
has-
very good. All right, Troy, do you have a question on this?
I do not.
Jimmy?
My question is, I don't know who I'm asking the question of. Is it possible to restrict this to immediate family use? Or as time goes on, once this is granted, could another owner come along and use it as a rental unit?
They're not getting a variance for the use, just for the setback and height, right?
Right, the use is already there. It's been a
already there.
cottage forever.
Okay.
The use is
My
there.
question's answered. Thank you.
Christopher?
All set.
So what I understand is that there was some, as we know, that with the town, they used to have two addresses. One was the regular address, one was with an R, and at some point, something happened and they became one.
Yes,
That's
the
what I-
assessor's office merged the lot numbers.
So at
And
some
so it's
point-
taxed as it's one tax bill.
It's always one tax bill.
No, we used to receive two. Yep.
It's the same lot, though?
No.
Oh, there's two separate lots?
Yes, there's two lots. The main house is on Lot 195B, and the small cottage is on 187B.
So is the main house crosses that dotted line?
Does it?
So it's on both lots?
Yes, the back of the house crosses the back lot by a little bit.
That's why you get one tax bill.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
but we used to get two tax bills. We used to get like a $12 tax bill for the little house, you know?
Okay. All right, well, let me go to the public. Anyone is in favor of this matter? Anyone against this matter? Yes, want to come forward, ma'am? Please have a seat, state your name and address.
Danielle Taylor, 6 Whittemore.
6 what?
6 Whittemore Ave in Onset. So my property is directly in front of the cottage. I would say it's about wall to wall, about like 30 inches. It's very hard to do some work on my property now, so just trying to see building up. I don't know how that's really gonna go to be able to do some work on my home.
So you are, if I show you this plan, can you show me which one your property?
Possibly.
Do you mind coming forward? This is the cottage. Which one is your property? Is this one? That's the one they're proposing. Are you this side or this side? How about this here?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
direct yourself to the screen.
Oh.
It might be easier to identify there.
Does that help?
This is the cottage there. This is my house.
Ah, okay, very well. Oh, okay, that's the one, right here. Okay, so just go back, you gotta be on record with them.
What is she?
She's right there.
Okay.
Whitemore Ave, okay, number 4. So,
6. I'm number 6.
6.
okay, so, what's your concern?
It's pretty tight back there
Right.
currently. So the overhang of the roof building up, I'm just very concerned about how close it's going to be able to do some work.
How high is your house? 2 stories?
Yes.
So, this is gonna be 2-story. And, it's gonna be higher, apparently.
Through you, Chad, could we ask to eliminate the overhang and clean it up with some tight rakes?
What, they have an overhang in there? You guys have overhangs? I don't see that.
Does the plan show
It's just a standard gable roof
Yeah, it's just
with the,
roofing.
I don't know, you can,
Do you know what's overhang? You understand the overhang? So it's just a little over the like a fascia and the soffit. And on the sides, the rake instead of being, so just an overhang. If they eliminate, yes, maybe.
But the existing overhang is probably 12 inches.
Right.
They could cut it back and make it tight and be an
Yeah.
8-inch,
Maybe
that's
he
all, that's all
Your
I'm
name
asking.
for the record.
Bill Taylor, 108 Vernon Street, Middleborough. That's
Okay.
my daughter's house.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to damper the project here, but I did some work on the house last summer out there, and it's very hard to put a ladder up. And if he goes up, she has a little overhang, the fascia's there. The soffit might be out maybe a foot. But if he goes up 2 stories, in the future, if I ever want to put a ladder up, I won't be able to put a ladder up.
Can I ask?
Yeah, go ahead.
So if you put a ladder up, do you put the base on your property or on the neighbor's property?
It's up against the fence that's there. There's a picket fence in there,
Yeah.
and it's up against that, but it's still straight up.
So I guess what I'm not understanding is how them making their house taller makes your ladder harder to put up.
Doesn't make it harder to put up, it makes it harder for me to work on the house,
It makes it harder for you to stand on the ladder.
stand on the ladder, and he's going up, and there's gonna be less space.
You might have to use a pump jack instead of a ladder.
Mr. Loring, let me ask a question. Why don't you think of expanding instead of 2-story, go wider?
Because honestly, we only have a 30-foot wide yard.
I didn't know if he could not go up totally on our side, step it back a little bit, put a small little pitched roof there, and then do an
It's already too small. I mean, it's gonna be 150 feet if that's the problem. And the law is only, unfortunately, we ask always with big plans, I never get them, so.
It's 35 feet wide, and it's
The law,
wide, yeah, the whole, yeah.
that's the problem. I mean, if they go wider, they're gonna encroach on the setback, and they're gonna be right behind your house. I don't know what's the remedy for it.
Well, wait a minute.
Right now, we're not building any closer towards the boundary line.
Is this the path that's gonna be close?
I don't, this is the addition, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And, is this, that's gonna be close to your house? You mean this side?
That's how far it is out now, but now it's going to be up higher. So that's...
So that rake is already here,
Already
here.
down there, yes.
And you're gonna raise it?
Yes.
Right.
The overhang?
Exactly, same thing. Maybe even less. You know, right now, it's a, just a rafter.
So you're
eave.
concerned only about the overhang? Or, sir,
I'm not concerned about the overhang, I'm concerned about
about the whole thing being up?
going up.
My question is, could you move this and have it move this over? And have the,
Can you move the well, I'll get to you. Can you move the addition over the porch forward towards the front? So it'll be like instead of have a farmer porch, you have a roof over your porch. It'll be the addition over the porch. And then it will set it back away about 6 feet.
What if I, structurally, I don't know how I would do that, because bearing-wise, it's between two walls, okay? So I could come in the second floor a foot, but I'd have to move, you know, and then the top, but there's still gonna be that little shed roof at the bottom, because I have to have some way of framing that in.
Well, you're gonna have to put a little, so, and this is how Jimmy did it, so kind of like that.
No, I'm talking, I'd bring it in from the first floor on that side a foot,
A foot?
12 inches, and then still have the little dormer, little shed on the bottom, and then go up, so they would have another foot at the top. So instead of having,
like you do a shed dormer, he's just stepping it in and giving it a little, he wants to do this. He wants to do this, go up like that, just eliminate that. And then move this over a foot. That works too. I mean, it appeases.
It's close no matter what. With that,
What I see is no matter what, he has a hard time getting on the ladder, whether it's 2 stories or 1 story, because he starts right against the fence. And
Yeah.
if you're familiar with going up a ladder, now he's got to just kind of get around. But I don't think it's going to change his work anymore. It's just going to might make it a little more harder or wider. I mean, for him to do anything above up on the ladder.
if they
but I
move
don't-
it like this, would that help you? Make you happy?
I mean, that's something that,
I'm not even sure if I could set up a pump jack back there.
I have a picture of like the,
I mean, but all in all, it's hard to work back there anyway.
Oh, absolutely.
And by putting the second floor on,
Okay.
I don't think it's not going to make it any worse.
Jimmy, if
It's
they
just
go
still
up,
tough,
they're gonna be.
right? Because, I mean, by the time you get
Yeah.
up that ladder, you're
I
away from the
understand.
building more than you are at the fence. So
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
we can try and remedy something, see if we can do it.
The hardship is it's your hardship, really. They're not not making your situation worse. Your situation is where the hardship is, and you're asking them to accommodate you.
But then
Really?
again, it's a variance, and they
I
have
get
to
it, I
prove
get
a
it.
hardship.
I get it. I'm not saying that,
You're gonna have to alter the plan and move that second floor forward. I think what Mr. Kobachi drafted,
Honestly, I don't think it'll work as far as a stair stringer to get up to the second floor. The way our plan was.
how wide is that cottage?
12 feet.
12 feet, so you move it, you're moving the, I don't know where is the stair against that back wall?
Against that back wall, yes.
What?
think we gave it our best shot. It doesn't seem like it's gonna work.
Well, they could bring the stair halfway up to a landing and then move it, do it out of the corner instead of across the whole back wall. You could make it work. There's always an engineering solution to any problem.
Let me explain to you how it works. If we get usually in variances, we don't mind granting a variance, but when it affects a neighbor, we go kind of by the book. You have to go back to the drawing board and fix it because
Well, how much room do we have to give that? Would a foot be satisfactory?
for what?
Would one, if I do the 1 foot step in, would that be satisfactory?
No. You need, I mean, we don't want to tell you, I mean, Mr. Akabachi suggested this, we don't want to tell you how to do it, but you don't have a hardship to give you that variance. That's the problem. So, in order for us to give you a variance,
It would be a lot easier to build, it's a lot easier to build a square box than it is what we're saying. But it's a lot easier to live in what we're suggesting than it is with what you've got.
So if I may, again, with this
Yeah.
argument, in logic, it's not creating any more hard. It's hard already.
Yeah.
They're going up second floor is not gonna make worse or less. It's already hard already.
You're saying they're not,
It's already hard already.
can I see your picture again?
And even if they kick it in,
You're on your
you're
phone.
still hard
are you
getting on the
gaining?
you're not gaining anything. I don't believe you're getting, in my eyes, I don't think you're gaining anything.
I know, but look at this, Richard.
Oh, no, I saw how
You
tight
see
that
that?
was.
he went
No, no,
there.
This, if they go
I
up,
was there today.
you know what I'm saying? It's making it way more worse.
Their property is directly on the boundary line. Mine's 2 feet off.
That's irrelevant.
I know, but I'm just saying.
I mean, we try to help as much as we can.
The thing is,
That's why, excuse me, that's why I asked, where are you setting the base of your ladder? If your property's, if your structure's,
Against the shed.
you know, if your building's on the property line, how are you putting a ladder back there on your own property?
Because there's no fence between those...
So they gotta put the base of the ladder on your land in order to get up the ladder.
Yeah, and I was fine with that, for him to do siding and stuff. I was fine.
I'm not
You're okay with him coming onto your land to set the base of his ladder, he's just not okay with you, making the building taller.
Right, technically, the back of
Or she.
the open area behind the cottage,
Yeah, I get it.
it's kind of their backyard, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
not
that-
fenced, it's not divided or anything like that, and so, yeah, that's fine.
And
I never had a
I'm-
problem with that.
Sorry, and I'm not trying to, I'm always for improving property. I'm just trying to understand, because I didn't understand the plans. I'm not trying to make things difficult. I just want to understand and make sure that everything is,
you want to understand or you don't like the way it is? That's it.
this is the first time I'm seeing this, so I'm
Okay,
trying
so
to
it's only
comprehend.
understanding or it bothers you?
I'm trying to grasp the concept of how high it's going to be to make sure that we can still do work and
It's
that-
gonna be as high as your house.
And the
So
overhang...
are you
the overhang-
okay with that? You gotta look at us, you only can talk to us.
I think there's a little bit of concern there, but, I mean, I understand that that's their property as well. So I'm just trying to,
I think, we'll see what the board says. I think you need to go back to the drawing board, because if this gets appealed, you will lose. I mean, it'll go in summary, it won't even make it to a judge. Let me see what the board thinks. You only need 4 board members. So, Troy, what do you think? Are you willing to grant this variance as presented?
I'd like to see a different plan.
Jimmy?
I think that there might be I'd like to give them accommodations, but I think they could, unfortunately, part of me wants to just say, yeah, go ahead, do it, because they're not doing anything, they're not increasing the nonconformity, they're just making it taller. I like to accommodate neighbors, but I like it to go both ways. I'm not feeling that.
Christopher?
I kind of agree with Jim.
Richard?
So if there's an agreement that he's allowed to put his ladder on their property to work on his house, I think that's washing hands and back all at the same
Yeah,
time.
you can't, it's pretty hard to wash with just one hand. The sound of one hand clapping.
So what do you want to do? You put the ladder on his property, you let him build.
I think, I mean,
Well, I don't
So,
think,
let's see here from your father, what do you think?
We bought the house in 2018, we didn't know, you know,
I know, things happen.
Things
If you really agree with it, I guess we go back to...
I don't want to squash his whole plans there. That's not what I'm looking for.
Go ahead, Jimmy.
this board, my question to you folks is if this board grants these people a release they've requested, within 20 days of our decision, you can appeal our decision. And you can hire an attorney and you can go to court and pay the attorney to go to court and reverse our decision. If we were to grant, are you so adamant against this that you'd hire an attorney and go to court and appeal our decision? I just needed to see how strong you felt.
no,
Thank
it was
you.
just
answered
concerns
my
and trying
question.
to like understand the plans and just know what's happening. And just
All
felt
right.
like I need to express just my concerns.
Why don't you go with your dad outside and agree on something, come back? We take 2 minutes, you got...
Go ahead and approve it, so that's fine.
It doesn't mean we're gonna approve it.
Well, I mean, we're fine. There's not much we can do right now anyway.
You can. There is much. If you agree with that, we don't have to approve it.
I don't want to squash the plans for him. I
You
really don't.
You don't.
I will
Okay.
figure out a way if I ever have to get back up there to
That's very kind of you. That's nice of you to give him that plan.
Mr. Chair, the woman in the back raised her hand earlier. I don't know if she still wants to come forward.
I think she just wants to wave, I don't know. If you want to talk, you have to do it on the microphone. If you want to wave, we'll wave back.
Do you mind let the lady speak on the mic, please? All right, ma'am. Want to sit down, state your name and address?
Joanna Savage, 4 Whittemore Ave. My house is, oh, the map isn't there, but my house is directly behind or in front of, or whatever it is.
Are you in a butter?
Yes, I'm in a butter.
Okay.
I'm on Whittemore, he's right behind me. He's right behind me, and then Danny's beside me. And it's true, oh, actually, okay, I think you can see it. We have a detached garage as well in our house, so it's somewhere there.
Do you have a boat in front of you?
He has the boat, so we have the,
Yeah, that's my
what the heck is
boat.
our house?
You have skylight?
House is right behind the boat.
Oh, okay.
have
Okay, that's the
skylights?
garage, that's the garage behind the boat. The house is beside the garage, and then Danny's house is that one with the cupola on top, right there, yeah.
Danny is the lady.
The one with the cupola is the one that has the problem getting the ladder up.
Correct,
Okay.
correct. And it is I mean, it's Onset, you know, it's a crazy neighborhood. The corner of Danny's house is actually on the corner of our property. I don't know how the heck everything got divided up, but the corner of her house is actually on our property line. The back of our property is, I don't know if I'm exactly right, Ed, but probably a foot or a foot and a half from the back of his shed.
Okay, but what's your concern besides the property lines?
It's just, you know, I mean, like Danny, I say, you know, I don't want to squash any plans or anything. I'm just concerned about, you know, safety overall. The properties are so close. You know, Danny had talked to me before, and, you know, we discussed the, if he goes straight up, then she's only 30 inches from his side of his house to 30 to her house. It's 30 inches, and then the overhang is at least a foot, so that leaves 18 inches between the two houses. You know, fire hazards, I don't know. I wish there was some other way, but it sounds like maybe there's not, unfortunately.
Okay, so you basically against it.
Well, I don't know what to say. I just have the concern about, the safety. Okay, just a question. Now, I know, like Ed
Through the
told us, and he told my husband that
Through the
when they're
chair.
doing the house.
She's supposed to
Yeah. You gotta go
I'm
through
sorry.
us, so you can't be asking them. you
Oh,
ask
okay, I'm
them.
sorry.
Thanks, Rich.
When they do the house, we have to take the fence down so that because the back of our property and their house is like maybe 1.5 feet. So, we're in agreement with that. But I just have, safety issues. I want to make sure that, that we're safe, because if they're working on that house, how are we going to be protected if, from workers, as far as, damage to the property, the patio?
This is logistic plan, that's a responsibility, it's not ours. They're responsible
Okay.
for this.
See, I
We're
don't know
not the
how this all
police, we're
works, so-
not the insurance.
Okay.
You understand
All
what
right.
I'm saying? Like I
do.
said before, the
do.
different applicant, they make damages, they're on the hook.
Okay.
You understand? The only thing we could do here restricts the hours, make them put a fence, something like this.
Well, there's no way. I mean, it's just so close.
The entire
Crazy.
property is got a stockade.
One sec.
It's crazy.
Are you good, ma'am? Are you all set?
So you're just approving a variance?
We
It's nothing to do-
we can approve or
My questions would be more for maybe the building inspector once they start
No.
going. Because the one thing I would be concerned about is, we only have this little backyard, that's all. And when he goes up, if he's putting windows on our side, there goes all our privacy. And actually, my back bedroom window would be, he would be
Well, one of the
looking
things we
directly
could
into our
do.
back bedroom window. So
All
I
right.
guess that's a building inspector
What- no,
problem.
no.
Or a
Ma'am,
question
you're not
for
listening.
Edwin.
You keep talking over me.
Okay, I'm sorry.
One of the things we could do, like the backside, we could say, okay, we'll let you do this, but you can't put a window. Son, we can do that. The commissioner cannot do this, the building inspector.
Oh, I see.
Or,
Okay.
or put a window that's an awning window that's up off the floor, so there's no direct vision down into it. I mean,
Right.
there's certain things that we
Right,
can try
yeah.
and help out
'Cause
with.
my bedroom window is right there, and it's not, I don't know how many feet that is, but,
So you gotta tell us your
Difficult.
concern and what you like to see. We still haven't
okay,
got
I'm
a
just-
got an answer
want-
from you.
I just want to make sure the safety concern, and I want to, I had a question about the window, but I didn't understand that that wasn't a zoning board, or it is a zoning board.
Well, we could
It
say
is a
no
zoning
window.
board thing. Okay.
You
Then
don't want a
that's my
window.
c- That's my concern, then.
You want a window or you don't want
I
the
don't really want a window.
Okay, no
I mean,
window.
I don't even know if he was planning a window. I just,
I think he's gonna have to put it on the side
Okay.
then.
Is there a window on our side?
Is that?
is there a window on our side?
Yes, there was.
Oh, okay. Is it, what type of window?
Ma'am, you gotta talk to us. You talk to,
sorry.
just stick with the plans, with the rules. You talk to us, we'll have him answer you.
Okay.
So, is there a window on our side?
Yes, there is.
Are you willing to change that window if you have to?
Yes, I was just hoping to let some light in, because there are no windows on the back side of the house, but we can, do we have the option to do a higher window that we could just, a crankable window?
That was my suggestion, is
I
if
wouldn't
you
have
do a
an
smaller...
objection to that.
do a
Let
row
him
of
answer.
smaller
You're
windows
getting your time.
that are up high, just so nobody can just look out the window and peer down and break her privacy,
Right.
while also letting light in. I would-
Yeah, I don't want to invade anybody's privacy. I mean, and that's the
there's
one
some
reason we
things you
didn't
don't
have
wanna
any
see
windows on the
anyway.
back, because I don't need to be looking into your backyard, So but I just want to let some light in, and we can do that. We can do the crankable windows.
Would that work for you?
That would work.
All right, thank
It's
you.
a high crankable.
Where in the
yeah.
world is Pearl Street?
It's it's corner of 12th.
So,
You know where the boat ramp is?
the
You go
boat
over
ramp,
this.
yes, I do.
Now, when you come out of the boat ramp and you turn
This is
to...
over near the trailer park, the mobile home park,
No, it's up the other side.
South Water Street.
It's up by the old elementary school.
up by Union Street,
that's
up
right,
by
so
the
I'm at the
Union
wrong
Street.
Jimmy?
Yeah.
Right here. That's the school, that's the pole.
We did one right on the corner, I think.
Okay.
We
so
had the
that's-
one-
The white thing there is the school,
Yes,
and where's Pearl Street?
that's the boat,
Oh, there,
that's,
I see it, I see the curved road over there. So
that's the boat.
their house is,
Yeah, I was wrong. I was thinking of another house that we
I think
looked at.
that,
It's right here,
that's the school, but I think the house is over there.
right there. It's right here, right here.
That's the mess, that's the cluster right there. It is a mess over there. Right across the street from the school.
No, it's down the hill a little
It's a-
further.
It's a
Down
block.
the hill a
it's
little bit.
Block down.
So, I think.
Do you want me to come up and point to you?
It's on the screen.
See the boat? See the boat? Yeah, see the boat?
Oh, right there, right
There's the
Okay.
corner house, he's right
Right
here.
here, 11, right here. Yeah, that's 11 right here, you're right.
Yeah, so when you leave the boat ramp and you go up 12th Street, you turn a right on the Pearl, and it's the second house on the right.
Anyone else? Thank you, ma'am.
Okay,
Oh,
thank you.
okay, I get it now. I know where it is now. Pearl, sure.
Can I inject a couple of things?
Yes.
I have no problem when we're building it to put the fence up every day when we leave. It's like two little sections of fence. I can put it back up every day when we leave the job. If we have to take it down, we'll put it back up. So
What
that,
fence?
the fence between the properties that she's worried about being wide open. If we have to work there during the day, I'll take the one section of fence down, do our work. When we leave at night, we'll put the fence back up.
So, you're taking the fence down so you can set your ladder on somebody else's property?
Yes.
Okay, so the gentleman that couldn't put his ladder up against his house because he had to put it on your property, you have to put your ladder on somebody else's property as well?
Yes.
I already asked permission.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just trying to get the,
And Russ also had his ladders on my property in order to reside his.
this Russ fellow that you've got permission from, have they spoken tonight?
No. No. Russ is in the back of the room. That's Joanna's husband.
Okay, thank you.
Did you want to speak, sir? You raise your hand? No. That's enough. Let's,
Do you,
I guess it's that,
I know, everybody's getting tired, but they still deserve
let's see,
our undivided attention. I have two thoughts. One is that if we continued, we might allow the neighbors a chance to talk amongst themselves. They might come back with an alternate or changed position. And two, my other thought is, the neighborhood is what it is, and they're not really asking for anything unreasonable.
what do you think, Troy?
I agree with Jim.
Christopher?
I agree also.
Richard?
Well, sounds like the neighborhood's all working together. They all getting permission from one another to help one another out. Sounds like a pretty good neighborhood to be living in, so.
All right, that's being said, let's close.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion to close and second by Richard. All in favor, say aye. Troy?
Aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
Richard?
Aye.
Christopher?
Aye.
Myself, Nazir, aye. All right. What's the wishes?
I'm usually the one that's blurting something else. I'd like to hear somebody else's thought on this motion.
So we make a motion to approve as presented, but
With
with
conditions.
conditions
Yeah.
that there's
No windows?
awning windows.
And no windows in the
On
back.
12th side, and no windows on the back on 6.
Correct.
And now windows can be windows, but they need to be high enough for vision to block invading the neighbor's privacy. And that the fence is put up every night after work.
No problem. I would do that anyways.
But
You
we're
know?
just trying.
Yeah.
So, that's a motion?
But I did my best.
So motion to grant the variance with the condition that Richard set. Any discussion on that motion?
I'll second the motion.
Second by Jim. All in favor, say aye. Troy?
Aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
Christopher?
Aye.
Richard?
Aye.
I'm gonna abstain, so it carries though. You got 401, so you got it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You have a good night.
Question, not just so, because I did this wrong on the last, there's a period of time when they prepare the variance to be recorded at the registry.
You got to record.
Yeah, yes. The 20 days appeal period starts when?
When the secretary stamps it with the clerk, we have 14 days to submit it.
Okay.
So you get
And then it's 20 days,
after,
okay.
all right?
And then we go back to the building department?
Correct.
Okay.
Ozzy, I think we should see revised plans.
Huh?
He submitted plans with windows. I think we should see revised plans.
Right.
Yeah, we
You're gonna bring revised plans with no windows on the back.
Okay.
Well, it's on a condition. If the commissioner see it, he's not gonna give you the permit,
Right.
right?
Yes.
So when you come for a building permit, you gotta bring a plan, no window in the back, and specify an awning on the side.
Awning window up on the upside, that's it.
In the back, there will be no upper windows on the second floor.
Right.
There is a small bathroom window
On the first floor.
on the first floor.
It's already existing?
Yes.
And that's already existing.
We're not gonna do it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, very good, thank you.
Also, I have all the signed cert cards. Do you guys want to add it to some sort of file?
Those need to be turned in,
To Sonia?
please.
Yes.
I'd take them, but, you know,
No, you gotta give him
have her
Sonia.
put them in.
File, yeah.
Huh?
Oh, you do have the file.
Yeah, I have the file, but I'd rather,
Okay. All right, thank you, guys.
too many cooks,
Thank
salty
you.
soup.
Yeah, I get you. All right, thank you very much.
I think that's the end.
It's the end of
Like the
May.
guy from the doors said, this is the end.
Let's get a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Jim to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Buddy did that, too.
Do I have a second? Second by Christopher. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Troy,
Aye.
Christopher,
Aye.
Richard,
Aye.
myself, Nazir, aye. Thank you.
I'll call Bobby.
You good.
Take the window out of there.